We live.
He's using his white privilege of being successful.
There it is, y'all. I'm using my white privilege. Yes. Yes. I knew it. I knew it was coming, y'all. I was just waiting for the white privilege. I knew it. Thank you, Shabs.
Huh? You do have it.
I know. I do have it. I absolutely do have it. I do have it.
So you don't believe that white privilege exists?
No, ma'am.
So you think that I can do the same exact things as you?
100%.
Yeah, you must be living in Delusional land.
You think you know me and you think you know where I came from and you don't. That's the problem.
Like, oh, it's your time.
Who did you expect? Who did you expect? Who did you expect? Who did you expect? Who did you expect?
I had to.
Welcome to the east side. We don't wait for doors of opportunity, we just wait on when we gotta kick them in. Decatur, Georgia, or dinner thieves. Hidden leads just to feed the village. Hidden leads make them feel like ninjas. Niggas always keep the metal tucked till you run up, get your face cut. Got your brookins on the back end. Know too many niggas trapped. They be stuck in genjutsu. They see the world from a different view. Shadow clones cause they silhouettes. Hard to point out when they robbing you. You never know what be inside of you. You never know who you be talking to. Till it's 2 a.m. on the east side. Black as shadows in the nighttime. They don't wait on nothing but the right time. He ain't come around the corner. Shots fired, that's a nigga down. Sad, but this is normal around this town. I've been crying for my niggas found. I've been praying for my niggas down. Always looking for some progress. Try a nigga, he gon' regress. Locked and loaded that nigga ready. Turn your brains into red spaghetti. I be looking for God here. Hopefully see that I'm trying here. Save my niggas cause they really lost. Tell them my niggas before you write them off.
They say, Vic, don't you move on that side, boy. Both the crime rate and junkies stay high, boy. Scary niggas, they ain't see my vision. Now they see it, they want in the convoy. Stop by the corner store, know that it's kissing. Then let them watch when those punk ass for a bag of chill shot with the water. But no, they got size, I don't need no patchouli. I just want water. Start bitch with my brothers like Pops and Earl. We gon' turn Keller Road right into a Melrose. I might turn Wesley Chow to a motherfucking church. They got my people and teach them their worth. I don't need no appraiser, I'm knowing the worth of my property. They just owns out the cap, always a lot in it, world, and I'm winning it all like construction on this side. I'm taking my time, now it's 2 a.m. on the east side. Up as fuck, no, I'm writing rhymes. Late night, not an early morning, like an alchemist, I'm turning under something. Shots fired, that's a nigga down. Sad, but it's normal around this town. Cause I'm calling, say you beat the charge. He can't wait to come back around. Other cousin calling, y'all must out. Say you heard prices went back up. I confirm they gassed up. Told them chill, though, cause we next up. People be looking for God here. My job is to teach them look in themselves. Say my niggas cause they really lost. Speaking for the ones they breaking off.
Yeah. Everybody think it's a game. Yeah. Everybody think it's a game. Yeah. Everybody think it's a game. Boy, I ain't playing no games. No, boy, I ain't playing no games. Yeah. Don't nobody know about the late night, early mornings with no sleep. Don't nobody know about the low time we ain't really had nothing to eat. Don't nobody know about the time we had to ride around without tank on E. Don't nobody know nothing but me. Don't nobody know nothing but me. Don't nobody know about the grind that it took. Don't nobody know how many times we put ourselves out there and got overlooked. Don't nobody know our pockets was low. Don't nobody know they think what they know. Don't nobody got love for a man, especially when a man hitting it low. Everybody got words of wisdom. Who putting in the work though? Everybody wanna get a trophy, but you ain't make it to the ship though. Better stick to your sailboat. I know you love to ride the wave. I see you really love to follow. Trendsetters over here though. Whoa, everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah. Everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah. Everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah. Everything seem like a game till you get played. 2K, pat me the pressure, I handle the rock. Stay on the ground till I shoot to the top. Harder than lava, I fire the op. Stay back and shoot, my heart is your heart. I don't miss nothing, my shot can't get blocked. Bust in your face like I'm Curry on God. My mentality, win at all costs. Snakes in that grad, had to cut a few off. Keep my head low, my focus is people. The confidence is key, don't let haters get to you. Critics always wanna say something negative. I can't mind them, I know that I'm better than them. I just know I gotta grind for my team. Take the title home and be MVP. Once I do, I'ma show on the king. Finger to the left, so quiet my demons. Everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah. Everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah. Everything seem like a game until you get played, yeah.
What did you expect?
Why that girl on her phone, she never paid attention to the room or the homie. She just missed another opportunity, And I know that she lonely with no company, She so busy reading text, she ain't even read the room, yeah. Always sending texts like I just want myself a little boo, yeah. I think I just went stupid, hit by Cupid. The arrow hit my heart, I hope she noticed, gotta read the room, yeah. Learn to read the room, I really wish that you can read the room. I really wish that you can look inside of me, and I can tell you how I feel, little baby. Just learn to read the room, Read the room. Just read the room, Just read the room. Learn to feel that presence and that feeling in that mood. Just learn to go ahead and feel that moment too, Learn to read the room. Trying to talk to you is honestly so fucking strange. Trying to find a way to drove my brain to be deranged. I would've never thought I'd have this kind of issue. I couldn't connect with you inside of the same room. I know you feel me, at least I think you do. It's hard to tell, I cannot read the room. You seem to be unfazed, that's what you supposed to do. You seem so confused, baby, why won't you learn to read the room? I really wish that you can read the room. I really wish that you can look inside of me, and I can tell you how I feel, little baby. Just learn to read the room, Read the room. Just read the room, Just read the room. Learn to feel that presence and that feeling in that mood. Just learn to go ahead and feel that moment too, Learn to read the room.
I'll show you how to read the room, baby. Say you faded off that drink, I hit the road in Zoom, baby. Project nigga section 8, I never had a spoon, baby. She says it's rated, this movie coming soon, baby. No, I ain't worried about your boyfriend, he ain't like that. See me, it's on sight about that pussy, he gon' fight back. He gon' risk his life, I beat him up like go down my path. But your bitch want me, so it ain't my fault that you tried that. Oh yeah.
Learn to read the room, I really wish that you can read the room. I really wish that you can look inside of me, and I can tell you how I feel, little baby. Just learn to read the room, Read the room. Just read the room, Just read the room. Learn to feel that presence and that feeling in that mood. Just learn to go ahead and feel that moment too, Learn to read the room.
Welcome. It is another edition of the Aaron O Show. I thank you for tuning in with me late night. I'm sorry, but it's cold, so I gotta have the hoodie on right now. So don't judge me. But yeah, it's cold, so gotta turn the heat up. My heating bill gonna be through the roof. It is what it is. I don't care. You gotta be bougie sometimes. I know you're supposed to, get the extra blankets and all that, but nah, you just go ahead and just take the money, PG&E. Just go ahead and take the money. That's just how the game is. Just too cold right now, right? But anyway, welcome. I really miss those songs, man. Shout out to my guy Cheeky Banner on the ones, twos. But yeah, we got another show today. And as you can see in the title, it speaks about the so-called white privilege. And I want to preface this statement by saying I don't believe it's a real thing, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I've heard it being referenced often. Unfortunately, a lot of disagreement stems from a lot of that. So I'm open to the fact that it may exist, or some people believe that it does, but I just need more evidence, more information that points to it being actually true. So last show was dope. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Had a good time, had my people in here, and you guys treated my guy well. So he was very happy. He said he might come back one day, but he's scared. So I don't blame him. But this conversation comes up today. Why? It stems from a conversation that I had with an individual. Okay, let me just tell you what the conversation was and how interpretation is key and people's own personal bias go on and dictate things. All right. So if you're an old head in here, feel free to educate me on things and say, Youngie, you don't know what you're talking about. You just missed out. They erasing things. I just, things have evolved. I want to say, and thank you for all the warm welcome back. I did miss you guys. But don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. You're going to have me looking soft on the internet. Don't do that. Don't do that. But so the conversation essentially went like this. It was me, another individual, and I was trying to eat my food. I don't want nobody to. I was eating my food. I was just listening, and the conversation just sparked out of nowhere. And I think this is the reason why. Will, what up? This is the reason why. Because I live in California, there's a default assumption that I am leaning more towards liberal, right? Which I'm not a liberal. I'm an independent thinker, and so forth and so on, right? So the conversation came up, and it was a gentleman, and he said one of his friends, associates, whatever he wanted to call it at the time, because I don't know him extremely well, and he's just talking about privilege. And he was like, this guy was saying, I don't have any white privilege. This is ridiculous. And it stems from this. There was a protest that happened, right? I don't know, one of the BLM protesters. And I believe that the gentleman got caught in traffic, and they cut him off. He could not drive his car. He couldn't get through them. And he was just like, where's my privilege? Where's my so-called privilege? I can't make these people move out of my way. I can't get to where I want to go just because I'm so-called privileged. And the guy telling me the story said, you just can't recognize your privilege. And he go on to state, this is the reason why white privilege, right? This is the reason. He said, when he was born, his father put $200,000 into an investment account for him at his birth. That's why he's white privileged. Nobody else is getting the $200,000 at their birth. Who else is getting that birth? And he was going off about that's why white privilege. You just can't see your privilege and all these things. And in my mind, I'm thinking, $200,000. They ain't no chump piece of change right there. I could do some things with that. I take that. At birth, I start calculating in my head. Y'all know me. I don't do numbers well. I just do simplicity. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippis, 3 Mississippis, 18 Mississippi. By the time I turn 18, you compound that 200. But I was just like, well, in my mind, this is what I think. You too could give your kid that if you wanted to. You just got to sacrifice. We don't know what the father did to sacrifice. Probably spent 20, 25 years building something, saving, sacrificing. You know all those coffees that y'all like to get, the little mocha. What is it called? Mocha, the grande latte. I don't know what they call it, but y'all be going there every single day on y'all app, and y'all just been increasing the rewards, and y'all got to sacrifice that for 20 years. And then y'all probably can't have the best food. You can't go out to restaurants, but you have to make a decision early on to make that sacrifice so you then can be in a position to do that for your child. Now, you ain't got to be 200. It could be 100, 50, 20. I'm going to just tell y'all the truth. Some of us is just take $10. Some will be like, dang, my parents, like, they gave me $10. Thank you. Some of us don't even get that. But I didn't correlate that into it being a white privilege thing. It was more to me like nepotism at best, but I didn't just associate it that way. And to me, I believe people just throw that claim out there often in any way that they can, just because it sounds good. And I don't necessarily believe that there's any truth to it behind it. Now, a lot of you voted in the chat that you believe this is a real thing. And I just need some understanding. Somebody can give me the insight. You can explain to me how or what your experience of and why you associate that with a so-called white privilege. Because I don't associate it that way. Maybe I'm lost. I can accept that. I just don't see that. You have to explain to me why this is a real thing. What do you know that I don't know? What exists that I'm unaware of? And I can be ignorant. Let me tell you that may be a form of the so-called privilege, but I don't see this whole white privilege thing that everybody is often up in arms of. Because I got many questions, and I mean an insane amount of questions as far as how can you recognize it? How can you recognize the privilege? How will I know when it exists? Give me the insight to it being actually true, right? And I haven't experienced people being able to give me the consistent evidence to prove their point that it exists. Now, I don't see anybody in the chat tell me how they know it exists. I know there's some older people that may have experienced different times, climate, all those different things, but I'm going to need more evidence to why you think this is a legitimate thing. I think often people are just frustrated or upset. So that be more of the problem why I think people just start to associate. If someone has a different opportunity than them, that is a privilege. But I don't know why you associate that with the white privilege thing. That's a white privilege. No, why do you add on the racial component to the privilege that is given? That part I just need to understand. Okay, Big Draws Forever, what up? Says black or white. If you believe in white privilege, you're a white supremacist. Prove me wrong. That is a loaded statement right there. Point by point. Now, as you know, I'm not convinced. So it ain't me. It ain't me. I'm not convinced. I don't necessarily believe it's true. Now, 73% of y'all said it's the real deal. But I'm going to need some evidence to back this up. I'm going to legitimately need some evidence to back this up. Because so far, it's a little shaky on this. Now, I want to make sure I say this, okay? Shout out to Big Draw. I want to make sure I say this. I'm not closed off to the idea that it exists, but evidence must be provided, and not just outlier situations where I need real, tangible evidence of it existing. And I don't mean 159,000 years ago. Legitimately, I need something like, I don't know, in present time. Because I'm not going to stop for 200, 300 years ago. I'm going to go back to, 800 years ago, 1,500 years ago. So I need more information, okay? I need more information. Is that my dog fighter? Come on, man. What you doing? Come on, man. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Let me bring up my dog fighter complex in the building. What's going on, brother? How you? Oh, my bad. My bad. My apologies, brother. My apologies. I be pressing the wrong button by accident, man. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Hello, Kentucky. Happy Black History Month. It's the Cloud Chasing Coca-Cola Dominican representative decalcifying my pineal gland while simultaneously practicing on impulse control and self-mastery.
That's the New Year's resolution.
All that good stuff and more too. You know, working on financial literacy and physical health and getting back into my arts and crafts. But listen, Aaron,
I like
man, you missed. You missed here,
What
man.
up,
At least
dog?
by
What up,
me.
man?
At least by me. You know what I mean? Because I love your articulation and your perspective on things. That's what I miss. So, I mean,
I
shout out to
appreciate
you,
that, bro.
gang. Shout out to
I
you,
don't know
gang.
what's been going on since I've been gone, so I hope everything been good.
Nah, hey, just stay over here where you at in your little pocket. Just stay in your niche. Know what I mean?
Hey, man, look,
Just stay
all I
over
do
here.
is stay in my corner. Hey, man, I stay in my corner, play my position, man. But no, I just gotta know: are you someone that understands what white privilege is? Am I off when I'm trying to understand what people are saying when they say you have white privilege? They just be going off. I'm just trying to figure out what am I missing here because I don't associate it that way.
Okay, so recently I've been doing IRL content. And I'm approaching our pilgrim counterparts, right?
Okay.
And yeah, it's almost like they're telling me like, "Hey, I know what's better for you, you colored person." So I think that's an interesting angle. You know, it's like they're telling me what's good for me, and we're the same age. It's kind of interesting. So, white privilege is that's part of also like do you think like liberals or anti what the government is now, would you think that's part of white privilege too, that they believe that they could tell you what's better for you, what's good for you?
No, I just think that's an opinion. And
Oh,
they
that's an
sit there,
opinion.
yeah, that's their opinion.
That's
They
not
just,
white privilege.
no, that you don't get no privilege for having an opinion. You just spewing
Okay.
what you believe is right. People do that, and you can get people to say, "Look, if I had $1 million, I'd do this. My life would be this way." Of course, people gonna project all the time on what they think somebody else should be doing, but they often don't talk about what they should be doing. But no, that's just an opinion. People have their opinions.
Opinion. Okay. All right. So okay, sorry. Okay, white privilege. So you're saying white privilege is a myth?
Yeah, it's not a real thing. So, like for example, here I'll show you a little bit of the video that I introduced in the beginning, so you could get a little bit of an understanding, right? Like, because just how often you see how conversation is engaged.
He's using his white privilege of being success for being
There it is, y'all. I'm using my white privilege. Yes, yes. I knew it. I knew it was coming, y'all. I was just waiting for the white privilege. I knew it. Thank you, Shaz. Huh?
You do have it.
I know. I do have it. I absolutely do have it. I do have it.
So you don't believe that white privilege exists?
No, ma'am.
So you think that I can do the same exact things as you?
100%.
Yeah, you must be living in Delulu land.
You think you know me and you think you know where I came from and you don't. That's the problem.
You think you know me. You don't know shit about me.
I'm not accusing you of anything. You're accusing me of white privilege.
I know exactly who you are.
You're
a
where I
white
came
MAGA
from.
Trump supporter. Has nothing. White privilege has nothing to do with your background. It has to do with your skin color.
Now,
okay,
I'm trying.
Okay, I see what you're getting at now.
Now, she got the punk rock type ring in her nose and like with the all makeup, and maybe that's rocker style. I don't know, but I mean, maybe she's privileged. I don't know.
I see where you're getting at now. So now it's like this. Yeah. No, white privilege. Well, let's just say privileges exist for a myriad of people, right? It's not just white people. You got tall privilege, pretty privilege, friend privilege, family privilege. There's privileges everywhere. It just depends. So
we've associated the word privilege and attached to those things because it makes us feel better about our individual circumstances. That's somebody's preference. If you're tall outside of being able to reach above the cabinet over the refrigerator and a slew of other things, and because people find you more attractive because you're tall, that's what they like. What you want me to do about that? What you want me? That's what they like. Well, I'm tall, so what you want somebody to do about that? That's not nothing they can fight. Now attraction is supposed to be subjective, right? There's some science that you can argue, but so I don't know why we're calling it pretty privilege and all that kind of stuff. Because somebody likes you, they'll do something that they wouldn't do for somebody that they don't like. I don't know. I call that common sense.
Aaron, years ago, I remember, because sometimes for some reason my memory is like in sequences. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember one time we had a conversation where you rarely agreed with me, and I said, well, we mutually agreed where if someone says, "Oh, you're pretty for a black girl," it's not offensive. Because what that's trying to say is I usually that's not my preference. I don't like black girls or white girls or Hispanic women, whatever. But but you're special, so that is a compliment, right? So yep. I think it's just about preference and how people perceive.
It's interpretation
things.
Though, because
interpretation too. Yeah.
Yeah, because the girl that you said it to may interpret it slightly different. She might attribute it to a different thing, like, oh, so all these other ones ain't good enough for you, but I'm good enough. Why? Like, so it's just the perspective that the individual is in. So people choose to be offended sometimes, where the intentions do matter. But sometimes people can be offended regardless of your intentions. But I think it's important to look at the intentions. But as someone like, man, you good looking for a black. That is actually kind of like a double compliment in a crazy way. If you look at it like, dang, right. You know you didn't really want to say that because you normally don't go. But I'm so good looking, you can't even fight. You got to just admit the truth. Yep. So like it just depends on your perspective. I would look at that as like an ultimate compliment, unless they're looking at it as a way to degrade you. But I don't really see it that way.
And Renaud, I tend to get to work like right on time. I don't get there like 5 minutes early, like like you mature people do. I get there right on time, and I'm over. There's a curve that is like there's the mall, and I gotta drive around the mall, and it's like I hope that day it didn't snow and it's icy or was raining, because it's a strong curve. I gotta take a sharp, right turn, and on that corner right there, on that curb, I always see pilgrims with cardboard signs asking for something, And I tell myself, oh, look at him practicing his Caucasian privilege. While I'm over here trying to get to work as fast as I can. But he's over here on the curb and he's with a cardboard sign asking for money. I mean, I don't do that. I don't have the audacity to participate in that. So is that privilege too? That he gets to be outside asking for money? I'm a little confused.
I think that's perspective. Privilege, a lot of people tend to associate it with what an advantage. They tie white privilege that the advantage is because you're white, and you only get that advantage because you're white. Like that's the primary reason, all those type of things. But if you outside with a sign that is
and it's drizzling, like it's like raining, drizzling. Yeah, go ahead.
I could make the argument that I don't know if that person's homeless, but homeless people live quite a privileged life to a degree. I could argue if you're fine with sleeping outside in the right city, it's probably better than having to work and pay bills all the time, because you can somewhat get housed for free in a lot of situations. You get food pretty much. If you come to the Bay Area, they're gonna try to put you in the house. Hey, please just stay in the, like they'll give you food. So I think there are a lot of advantages. And there's this one time homeless people just ask you, what time is it? They have time freedom where like you trying to get to work. You like, bro, I gotta hurry and get to work. You looking at the clock. A homeless person don't care what time it is. They don't even wear a watch because they don't care. So they have a level of time freedom. Now there are other things that they're disadvantaged at, right? So like they might not have resources in the sense of a car. They're not might not be able to get from point A to point B. They might not have a cell phone to contact people when they want. But there are other advantages that they do have. The question is, which do you prefer? And I would say that you might prefer to have someone beneath you to make you feel better about your life. That's what a lot of people do. They're like, yeah, my life ain't so bad. I could be homeless. So you use them as a measuring tool to feel better about your circumstances so that you can keep going on and on. So you kind of look at it that way, but I would look at there's privileges for them. And I think there's downsides. Just like I think there's a privilege for me. I may generate a level of resources that homeless person can't. And so I might have a little bit more freedom to access to acquire things at a much faster rate than that person would. But what if they don't care for those things that you can acquire with that? So it's perspective there. I'm trying to get down to the nitty and gritty of all this so-called white privilege that is always thrown out there that I just don't tend to see, especially in 2026. Can you believe we're in 2026? Come on now.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, so there can be privilege in being white. There can be.
Or give me an example where you think that you getting the privilege because you're white and another group can't necessarily get that privilege.
If there's a black guy who's tired of black women and he just wants a white woman because he thinks that's better, you got some privilege right there. You got a better chance because you're something different because he wants him a white girl.
But what if the white?
I don't know. I don't know.
What if the white girl don't want him? It does happen.
No.
There are guys that's out there like can't find a woman. I'm struggling, can't get them.
Listen, bro. You know Thomas Sowell, the economist. I'm pretty sure you know who that is.
Yeah. I like a lot of his work. Yeah.
He said in life, similar to politics, there's no solutions, only trade-offs, right? So it just depends, that pros and cons, the yin and yang. That's all, that's all. I don't know how else to respond to this. Like, we all have our trials and tribulations, and we try to handle life with what cards we're dealt with. I truly don't believe in the that's like weakness in your psychology if you believe that someone else got it way better than you just because of the color of their skin. But that's my personal opinion. I don't want to impose that on anyone else.
I mean, that is your person. But I'm saying, as far as you've heard the term used before, right?
All the time.
You heard people say that they got white privilege. They got white privilege. You've heard people say these things many times.
All the time.
One of the most before he passed away, one of the more prominent social media type figures, individual, they've been accused of such thing. Like for example, right? This gentleman here, his name is Charlie Kirk, right? In this particular video, he was accused of being a white supremacist.
You call me a white supremacist. What evidence do you have that I'm a racist? I was just literally watching a video of you talking about whiteness as a whole, talking about whiteness as a concept, okay? And you were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't.
You are a white man. How do you know?
What can a white person do that a black person can't do?
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs if they have a black sounding name.
Now, I have heard that before, right? You're less likely to get callbacks, names. They've run studies on this. I don't know how many studies they've run on this, that, but I've heard that voice before, that, you won't get the callback. And let me just tell you, I can understand that. I don't know, right? See, it gets a little complex, right? We have names that are associated with an ethnic background. Oh, that's a black name. That's a white name. Like, it's crazy, but that's really our bias attributing it to that, right? So, like, if we say, hey, yeah, my name is Marcus, is that a white name or black name? You know what I mean? But then there's like some so-called outlandish type names like Shaquisha, which is not about, I'm just saying, I'm just using a random name, and we would associate, oh, that got to be a black person. Where do we get that thought concept from? Are they the only ones capable of making up a name, recreating a name? I don't think so. So I don't know just how much, white sounding names, black sounding names, Asian sounding names. I just don't know how much we can attribute it to that when they make those assertions. But I'll say, it's interesting how people keep making the claims. Oh yeah, that's privilege. How do you know you're a white man? Like it's just they just keep bombarding these statements here, but the evidence to back it up is rare. Now you'll find scholars, you'll find people that are wordsmiths and things like that, historians that'll take a historical time and make cross comparisons, and then they'll say, "Oh, but you got this job and I didn't," and this, and which is all technically individual experiences, right? So I just don't know. I just don't know why people feel so strongly about this so-called white privilege. But I haven't run into anybody that has been able to convince me that is a legit thing, as opposed to it is just privilege, and you're just attaching the word white to it because that individual just so happens to be white. Like, would you consider my name black sounding, or would you say I'm white passing?
Aaron. Aaron. It's like it's very fluid.
Who owns these names? I'm
right,
just
yeah,
like
Aaron. I don't know.
I'm being a little facetious, right? In the sense of like, when do we go and attach these names? Like, my name is Aaron, so what does that mean? Like, which side you put me on when you see it on the application? Look, I've looked over applications before. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I see a name that I can't pronounce. Like, damn, what? First thing I'm thinking, why did their parents do this to them? Why would y'all put them in a circumstance where you know they need a job, and the person that is most likely in a position to hire them, they're a human being that one looks for comfort like we all do, and we have human tendencies. So you have to understand, boom, okay, I look at a name that I can say versus a name that I struggle with saying. Now I'm like, dang, I got to call him. What do I say? Miss Abdullah. I'm just gonna mess up the name, or I could just be like, I'm actually, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Can you tell me? That might make them say that's why I didn't get the job, because they didn't want to learn how to say my name. It's a lot of factors that is involved.
Aaron, no, I think that's why they invented the resume, because they want to know your name, what's your credentials, your experience, how can you help us be productive at this job, this company, right?
Well, the resume is like a quick reference point, quickly to your, hey Kyla, how you doing? Like, Kyla is here. So it's a reference point quickly to your job history, and I can quickly assess it, read it over, right? But I can't extract everything. I can extract if you qualify for said type job, all those type of things. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, cool, 8 years here, da-da. But the things that I really, really want to know, as somebody who's interviewed people, hired people, yeah, it ain't really on that paper. That paper, can be fraudulent in a lot of ways. Hold on, let me see what that's in the back. I can't see them, so I don't know. Let me see what that is. They might be messing with me. Hold on, let me. Okay. I think that might be the one, the only Mr. E, the Trouble Williams. Yeah, that's E, the Trouble.
Yeah. I just had to come up here because you was lying. I can't believe that y'all think there's no such thing as white privilege, and I get it. It's one of the hardest things to prove. But when
no, how you gonna come up here and say we lied and then say it's hard to prove? We that means you qualifying our position. Like, yeah, that is hard to prove.
It's hard evidence, sir. It's hard to prove. It's almost like trying to prove that the Illuminati is real. You know, so it doesn't mean that it's not real. It's just because you can't prove it that it's real.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'm just saying, bro. Me being a hiring manager for a large portion of my life tell you that it's still a level of white privilege, but it's not the only privilege. It's pretty privilege. Like all of these privileges that we act like don't exist is just crazy.
Yeah,
And
but okay.
this is such thing as black privilege.
Yeah, so like I get it, but I don't know if I can only think like a few ways you can add privilege, but I don't know if that's the right association when it comes to black people. You say the N word, and you technically don't have no repercussions for the most part of that. Easy said that's definitely a myth. So Easy agree with me too. So like I don't have enough consistent evidence to attribute that to be like, yeah, you're right, you got that.
Yeah, I get. Listen, I get that people can say, "Hey, you know what? I don't got no evidence that I ain't got no evidence that Elvis Presley died either, but I think he did." Like, I get the point that you're saying is that it need to be logical, that it makes sense. But I'm just breaking down to you. Privilege happens.
Just give me an example of when you think it would be like advantageous. We'd be like, yeah, that I could see that being white. Give me just the example. Just give me one. I'm just looking for a
I
little.
got you one. Okay, I'll give you one. Well, let me ask you this question before I give you my example. Do you believe that people are in white sororities get hired because they're white and in that sorority?
Now, the qualifier is in the sorority.
But you can't get in the sorority unless you're white.
Well, I don't see. I see. I ain't really heard that specifically. I get the playing around it where it's like we can't outrightly just say only this group is allowed, but somehow, some way, it just seemed like that's all the people in this group. I get that aspect of it, but I will say yes, there are times where you can get hired based upon an individual's decision by being a human being, saying my bias say, yeah, I hire you because I like a white person. Sure, that's very possible. But
I got it. So you saying that you believe in bias, you just don't believe in privilege?
No, I'm saying that on an individual level, us as humans, we all have biases, and how we perform that in our real life. Like, yeah, like for instance, like let's take it to something that we all know exists. Like, because this is a hypothetical scenario, but that I believe can exist. Have I seen it applied? And if it was applied, I think people could sue and you can make money. But that's another argument. I've seen when people say buy black.
Yeah, that's a privilege. I see it in Atlanta all the time. No, listen, I believe in black. Listen, black people have proven if they get power, they go do black privilege. Listen, if you go to Atlanta,
they proved it.
They have proved it in Atlanta. It's a better chance that if especially if you part of a fraternity or sorority, it's a chance that you're gonna get hired way before a white person. Absolutely.
Is there privilege in the? Was there black privilege in the Black Panthers?
I don't know because I don't know what power they have. Maybe you got to ask a historian on that because I
No.
don't
What
really
if you
know.
wanted? What if you was white and you wanted to be part of the Black Panthers?
Yeah, they had white people.
Yeah, I think
definitely
they had
white people.
at least a couple.
They had enough to say they had enough to say that they had white people.
Oh, like token. So they had token white people.
No, they had white people down for the cause.
Not token. They wouldn't be considered token.
No. I mean, I could see how you could associate those two things. But I think at that time, I think that to some people it's probably heroic actually, because one thing people don't understand, right? When it comes to these groupisms type of stuff, if you turn your back on a group, they don't rock with you no more. They be making it seem like every white person just get it. The point that I be trying to get with the question is, where do you apply for this so-called privilege? Like you just born with it. I want to.
No, you're not. You're not born with it because all white ain't the same. That's not what I'm saying. I listen. All white ain't the same.
Well, this is complex.
I know. I'm about to ask you a question. If it was no such thing as white privilege, Aaron, my question to you: why did they have to include black people or people in color?
Why did they have to include them? They didn't. They didn't have to include them.
No, no, I'm saying why do we have things like DEI? Why do we have all of these things to make black people feel included if white people did not have privilege?
Uh, well, the question is who implements DEI, right? And so I think that it was an attempt. And remember, when you're attempting something, this is not a perfect formula. You don't have a lot of history and data on how this will be outcomes. And so what you try to do is say, hey, I am noticing that there's a large amount of people employed here and we would like a level of diversity here for whatever reason, to promote and create an environment of a different outcome, right?
Yeah,
And
you used a whole bunch of words. I know you've been away from YouTube for a while, but you used a whole bunch of words to say they had white privilege and they wanted to make black people feel included.
well, it wasn't just black people, but it was basically to try to get some diversification. But there was no system already in place, and most people, if you go back to why you would hire somebody, you typically probably hire somebody somebody you like, somebody that you have some history with. You would pick that over anything of somebody you don't know. So if you don't have relations with a certain group of people and you have a job available because you created a job, whatever the case is, and you know this particular person, you either know their family, whatever the case is, their religion, whatever it is that connects you, you have a common understanding in certain area to be like, oh yeah, I'll take that person over somebody I know absolutely nothing about. That is a common human thing.
Yeah,
So
well, that's what I'm trying to understand because I, in my life, have had a chance to be able to do things that other people can't. And I know my check can't clash. And I done tried to join country clubs
mhm.
because I golf. And because I was not white, I couldn't be in that country club.
Is that what they told you, or you're making that assertion based upon
I
what you?
that listen, the check cash. Listen, it wasn't no financial thing.
Mhm.
I'm telling you that when we went there, I asked the question, how many black people was a part of this club? And they said zero.
Okay, so either man, I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be part of a place where they don't want you?
Oh no, no, I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was black people couldn't be there because I wouldn't apply if I knew that black people couldn't be there. I have friends that are not black and they was a part of this club. So when I applied, I had got a reality check that you gotta you
Okay,
can't.
how did you come to that conclusion? That
Oh, because the white person told me. They said, oh, they only let white people in.
oh,
I would see when you got white friends, they'll tell you the truth. I was like, oh, bro, you can't be a part of that. They only let white people part of that club. But we can go up to the other side of town and you can join that club and we can play there.
So
is
let me
that
ask you. Then this is just like, so you don't think Michael Jordan could have gotten the club? If Michael Jordan pulled up there, hey, what's up? I want in the club. In your honest to
Nope.
God heart, believe he wouldn't have got in.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know about that player. I don't
I
know
don't.
about that one.
Now, and listen, I'm not against it. I believe it should be spaces that only black people can go. And white people not. I'm not. See, hold on. I think you think I'm against white
No, I don't
privilege.
think you're against it. You're just telling me like
It exists.
you believe certain, but okay, but that's what I'm saying, right? So but I can get how you can attach that. Oh yeah, but the problem is you can then do the same thing. I can create a club and I will only allow certain people to get in. It's the same action. You can't do equal because you have two different individuals, two different lives. Like this my club, you can make your own club and choose who get in. So I don't have no advantage over you. So that's why I'm saying it's not an advantage. You wanted to join some, you don't have no right to. You don't have no right to join some. They ain't got no right for that.
But
You know
it's
what I'm saying?
still an example of white privilege. Listen,
Correct. No,
because
no.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing whether it's good or bad. That's not my argument. My argument is places that I can go because this is and that's Charlie Clerk. I think he was a good debater, but he knew he was debating kids. And he knew that they didn't have a chance to be in these country clubs. He knew that their chances of being able to prove it at 18 that white privilege exists was highly unlikely.
No, well, some of the brightest minds are in college. I think I don't know. I don't watch a lot of his content. I think what he was trying to do was showing you the people that are voting, that are going to these colleges. These are the people that are there, and these are the ones whose votes, who feel so strongly about opinions and views, and they're the ones who's going to be making these votes in years and years. And this is what y'all should see. I think he, in a lot of ways, he was highlighting those things because a lot of people don't pay attention to. A lot of those kids are going to be the ones that vote. They are the future. So I mean, I look at it like that.
That's not his job was to convert people. That was his job, is to convert people from the Democrat. If you really study him and who hired him, they said there was a lot of people that was very liberal on these campuses, and his goal was to take liberal campuses and convert them to more conservative Republican campuses.
No, well, sure, I can see that. I don't.
I just want to say, if there's white privilege, what would be the solution? Would it be to go to a place where there's not white privilege?
No. What it is to play the game. See, I'm a big advocate of playing the game that work. Atlanta is a good example of this. Listen, Atlanta said black people don't run Georgia, but black people run Atlanta. I'm gonna tell you this right here. If you, they have created and this is why so many HBCUs in Atlanta, right? They create this environment that they gonna take care of their own. I'm okay with that. And listen, if I got a business and I wanted to hire all black people, I think it should not be a problem.
Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with that myself. I think actually that should definitely be the smartest way to go, because I think most people hide behind the curtains. The second you say, hey, listen, do what you want, you get to make an assessment now. The problem that I have is that we keep going. We'll harken back like, yeah, every time that we build something up, y'all just knock it down and mess it up. So that's where it's like,
Well, no, and I think that's the hard part, because I understand that we can point back in history through Jim Crow, before Jim Crow, right after slavery, when white people would knock down black businesses, right? But if I typically look back the last 20 to 15 years, we don't see that anymore. And I know some people kill me for that. They're like, oh, you just don't know. But right now, as a black man, I believe I can go and buy a house anywhere if I got the money. And I can hide who I am at that, because I can buy houses with LLCs, different things like that, right? It's a lot of ways for me to hide my identity, right?
Holding companies, all that. I get that part, but well, you know what? Let see. We'll finish playing the video so you can hear the reason. The point that I'm making is there are just a lot of people. Everybody has opinions and views, and I think it was intentional how we rolled out podcasting and all these things, right? So I understand that, right? But I also think that a lot of people just regurgitate anything that they hear, and they don't actually believe it. They just believe that the person that said it, and that's where it gets scary, right? So like we're listening to this young lady here, right? I'm gonna bring Eda Man in on this so he understands, right? We're listening to this.
Would you say people have a lot of their thoughts is by default, just they go with the flow? Because
no,
I think we're like, a lot of people are biased to whatever is advantageous to them. So like if it benefits them, they'll say like, oh no, it's not the same, it's just different. But if it doesn't benefit them, then they'll go into the reasons why this isn't fair and da, right? It's all about who it benefits versus who it doesn't in their personal experience. But when you listen to this lady go off, you just got to understand.
He's using his white privilege of being successful.
There it is, y'all. I'm using my white privilege. Yes. I knew it. I knew it was coming, y'all. I was just waiting for the white privilege. I knew it. Thank you, Shells. Huh?
You do have it.
I know. I do have it. I absolutely do have it. I do have it.
So you don't believe that white privilege exists?
No, ma'am.
So you think that I can do the same exact things as you?
100%.
Yeah, you
I'm
must be living in
100%.
Delusional land. Thank you
Shelves,
very much.
you think you know me and you think you know where I came from,
listen to
and you
T.I.
don't. That's the problem.
You think you know me. You don't know
But
shit about me.
I'm not accusing you of anything. You're accusing me
No,
of
I
white
know
privilege
exactly who you
when you
are.
don't
You're a
know where I
white
came
MAGA
from.
Trump supporter. Has nothing. White privilege has nothing to do with your background. It has to do with your skin color.
So tell me how my white privilege operates, please.
Listen up.
Tell you how it operates. You could get a job. You could get loans. You could get different things that I wouldn't be able to get because you're white.
So you can't get a job, Shelves? You just told me you worked. You're a customer
Yes,
service
I do
person.
work. This is my computer desk right there.
So you have a job.
Yes, I do.
Have you ever gotten a loan, like for a car or a student loan or anything like that? Have you ever gotten a loan?
I have.
Student loans.
Okay, but you're not white. I'm confused.
I've had to lie about my race.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
Aaron.
I don't care.
That is not a crime. That is not a crime. Hold on, listen. Lying about your race is not a crime. I don't know who told y'all this. Like, listen, he just used his white privilege by lying, and they believed him because he was white that he said that. That is a lie.
So Edelman, so are you telling me that hiring managers, when they're going through resumes or applications, do they put like people that select black or Hispanic or Asian?
No, 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 no.
Do they go in one folder and then
No,
the
no.
white go? Oh, okay, all right.
No, 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 no. So it's no such thing as an automatic hiring, right? I don't care who your name is on there. You can make it to whatever stage. You still gotta sit in front of me. Like people don't understand how the hiring process works. They're not separating. So most of it is automatic that a person is not involved, right? They put like things on the application that automatically disqualify you. For example, you need to have a bachelor's degree, and the person click they don't have a bachelor's degree, that don't even make it to the desk. So what we do is because you got to understand from a hiring manager, you got maybe if it's a good job, 500 people for this one job. So it's no way for you to literally can go through it. So what we do is we ask questions like, are you willing to work a full-time schedule? And somebody say no. Or are you willing to work weekend? We'll ask like
the weekend is the one that get them.
You all
we'll
set.
ask
Yeah,
questions
you all
that
set.
goes over people's head. Like they're like, oh, that's not a decision maker, but that automatically disqualify you. And what we're doing is we're trying to get you down to I kind of like the core group of people. And now all of these people gonna roughly look the same on paper. Like I couldn't look at a paper and say why this person is better than this person. Now I'm gonna come in. Usually have like a 2 interviews. Some jobs have lower entry level have 1 interview to make a decision, but it's typically I bring you in for an interview and then you interview with. So how ours work, we had a person you'll interview with my supervisor, and then after you interview with the supervisor, then you have to interview with me. Right, I was the second level of the interview. Right, so you had to make it past somebody to get to me, and I'm telling you, if that supervisor don't like you, you will not make it to that second interview. And this is where the privilege start coming in at, right? Because now and that's why I understand why people say it's bias, right? Because you can sit in front of that person and that person, you could have said everything right, but if they don't like you, and especially if it's a white person, if that person want to push up white people, it's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, but
Absolutely nothing.
that's
Absolutely
very
nothing.
that's a very peculiar, like niche. Like, oh, I want to propel my race. Like, I don't know how many people are concentrated in that in
Most
their
black people.
life.
Most black people. Majority of the black people.
I disagree.
I know Aaron disagree. Majority of the black people, listen, especially if it's a black woman. Oh, let me
Oh,
tell you. Listen,
whoa!
listen.
You don't go down this line here.
Listen. I'm
We got
telling
a lot
y'all
of
that.
lovely black women
So
in
there's
chat. You
black
better not do
so
it.
eat a
You
man.
better
So
not
there's
do it.
black privilege, eat a man. There's black privilege is
Listen.
what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like black people do it too. That's why. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why we act like only white people do it. That's why I say I ain't got no problem with it. Listen. If it's a black lady, she gonna look out for her. I don't know why y'all think black women against. I know that these YouTube and TikToks done told people black. Let me tell you, Miss Choice. My first job, Miss Choice, I was the least qualified. I wasn't even old enough to get the job. And Miss Choice said, "Hey, baby, don't worry, I got you." She did some stuff. I was like, "Do I supposed to be working? You don't supposed to start till next month, so don't be answering no questions." I'm just telling you, black women push up like black women will go the back to get you a job, and that's a fact.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that they wouldn't. I personally believe if they see something in you, and they're like if they like you, because if you seem like a knucklehead or something that's gonna be problematic, then I don't think they're gonna rock with you. But if they see like okay, you just need a little help, they like the direction you're going. I could totally see that people supporting that, but it still come down to if somebody like you, which is their individual bias.
Right, Aaron. No, that's why you have to be very intentional when you go to these interviews. Well dressed, act like you want to be there, like you gonna be there, and
Absolutely
I,
not. Let's break it.
What?
oh no, don't go prepared. Don't go there like you wanted to be there.
No, let's break it down on every
No,
single level.
come
On the
on.
very lowest level, you don't have to be skilled at all to work in fast food.
That's true.
You do so they don't
Oh,
care what you say
okay.
in
We're
an
talking about
interview.
fast food.
They
Oh,
care that you can show up. I'm gonna give you multiple examples. That's why they care that you can show up every single day or at least close to it to put a body in there so their customers can see that they're trying. While we got all these machines for you to tap things, you ain't even got to think. This says change. This says so they do all these things to eliminate the level of difficulty or intelligence it requires to do that job so they can have a plug in position to where that you can't hurt the business because you're not that much needed. Plug in, plug out. As we start to scale up, right? You'll start to notice if you work for any like major company, you'll get company emails and they'll tell you, welcome aboard such and such, right? They're going to be taking over the head of this department, yada, yada. And the first thing you'll say is, I don't remember that job posting. Yeah, because they was already selected. Ain't no option for you to go apply for that job.
Yep.
They predetermine who they already want. We got some candidates that we're thinking about. We got 5 people that we're thinking about, and we're gonna go get them. It's like you can't apply to those jobs. There are certain levels where you are handpicked, and then everything else starts to trickle down from there. Then there are jobs where it's like middle management type things where you gotta play the role, you got to do some politics and all that kind of thing. So it's levels to each place, but you got to understand, like at some point where like I want you to run this company for me. He was like, do I got to? You don't have to interview for a job when somebody tell you, hey, I'm starting this company, I want you to run it.
Absolutely. He's 100% right. And it is black disqualifiers out there. This is what we don't talk about. And it's frowned upon in the industry of hiring now, but it have always been black disqualifier, aka dreads. Ain't no white people got no
Whoa,
damn dreads.
you talking about the
Listen, hold
hair?
on. Hair,
Come on,
braids.
man.
Listen. I know people don't want to say it. Like companies will put out disqualifiers that only black people have. Cause when last time you seen a white man with dreads, fighter?
I've seen some.
I seen
Exactly.
I seen
But
somebody, but yeah,
y'all know what I mean. So that
his job was very like a rare job. All right, so okay, so you're telling me can someone not be hired because they're just not they're extremely unfortunately challenged in the face? Is that a possible thing?
absolutely, we seen that
Yeah.
all the time. What do you think Hooters are? What do you think waiter staff? Like me and my wife went to like this restaurant called Joey's, and they said they don't hire women that's less than an 8 on their scale. That's a fact. So yeah, absolutely. So it's certain
Okay.
like Victoria's Secret models. They ain't gonna just like it's jobs out there that you have to be a certain level of beauty for you to work there.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
when you go to the to a bar, yeah, yeah.
So
Usually
yeah,
a pretty lady, you know, serving you your drinks.
It's true.
so it's gonna be discrimination. That's what I'm saying. And then how it works is that works for Hooters. If Hooters had a whole bunch of ugly women up there, yeah, dudes wouldn't be tipping. It destroys their business model. So me being a businessman, I'm not against you getting the right personnel for your business to go forward. Sometimes it's just white people choose white people. They think white people are better face for their organization than people of color.
Wait, you think black people think white people are better face for their business than people of color?
Sometimes, yeah. That's I didn't see black. I know the Banker is a good example of that. Have you seen the movie The Banker?
No, I probably should watch it. A lot of people tell me to watch it.
So the Banker whole movie's about they was getting an uneducated white
Oh,
man.
I did just see a clip of it though. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. I know. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the
I
banker
see
as
that.
where he went rogue at the end. Is that?
Yeah, the white they had got
Oh,
the
okay.
white they got basically a white dude to be the face because they understood that they would be respected highly if it was a white man owned the bank versus a black man or two
Was it
black
like a
men.
'80s? The setting
No,
was in the
no.
'80s.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was 80s, not. It wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't a millennium. It
Do
wasn't
you
a new
think?
movie.
Do you think that's still prevalent now?
Yes, absolutely. I know a lot of black people who run companies and they got white people as the face. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I listen because I was having this conversation. You know, you can get African American branded on websites. You can get veterans branded on websites. I'm telling you, it is people absolutely say, "Hey, I'd rather have a white face." And you know the funny part about it, most of their customers are still black. Black people support white businesses. I'm telling you, like it's a weird thing. It's a
Wait,
weird thing.
wait. Well, of course, black people support white business. This is what drives me crazy, right? The frustration that I tend to have is when they have to be forced to do something. Like, people don't want to do nothing on their own accord. They have to be forced into a situation. It's a requirement. It's like if people want to buy black, they will just buy it. You don't have to necessarily remind them. Now, some people are like, oh, thank you for reminding me that it's black. I want to buy it now just because it's that, because I want to do my part. But nobody had, like, when you go to a restaurant, they don't have to tell you, hey, buy Indian, buy Chinese. You're
I
good.
disagree. I
No,
disagree.
no.
White people say buy white all the time.
Who? What? Said what?
Absolutely. What is Ralph Lawrence? You think that's black? Like, are we
No,
confused? Listen,
no,
you
no.
act like we
I'm
confused on
about
what
to
these
tell you
companies
why.
are owned by.
No,
Okay.
I'm about to tell you why. It's a difference between you inferring that because you believe that something that is said without it being said. But the Ralph Lauren, I believe Kanye West said it ain't Ralph though.
I'm telling you, look at all them white commercials. See, it's certain things like they still
Whoa,
let you know that
wait.
it's
So the
white.
commercials are ethnic now. Like wait.
Yep. I know it sounds crazy, but white people want you to know that white people own them companies. They do it very in their marketing. Absolutely.
No, we are biased. Just tell us that we believe that's a company owned by them based upon the marketing.
Okay.
That's our bot. Like, you could create a commercial right now and say, I don't want nobody to know that this is a black owned company. And you could create a commercial that justify that and go,
So,
yeah, I'm doing it. So like it's people's bias to what they believe.
well, let me ask this question because that lady said something very interesting in the video, right? So
Mhm.
since I know that you know about this industry is what I could say, right? So when do you think that white privileges didn't matter in banking anymore?
I think that I don't know if the privileged word matters, but I think familiarity kind of matters. So like if you're familiar with somebody, natural human tendency is to go with the proven product as opposed to the unknown product. But when you get into capitalism, typically you focus on bottom line and what I believe is going to perform better. If you take two empty candidates that you don't know, most people, like I said, they don't tend to do that. They go for people that they know, have some understanding of, so you can't do blank resumes at that level. Now, outside of that, you have corporations that are made of individuals. Each individual has their own lived life experience and their own individual bias. You can never root that out.
Well, I'm talking about like loans. So, because
So
we know that at one point
the,
in time, white people could get
the
loans and black
loan,
people couldn't.
okay, but see, the loan aspect gets a little complicated, right? So, like, there is bias there. That's why they have, like, automated stuff there to bypass. Like, now, right? We know the history of it, of the intentionality, red zone, and all that. So nobody's disputing that. But what I'm saying is, typically, if you make the claim that black people don't have no jobs, right? Then don't expect them to give you a loan. Because if you're saying it's easier for a white person to get a job, hypothetically, and I'm giving out loans, I would be like, look, I got to give out a loan. One unemployed black person, one unemployed white person. I think that white person is going to be able to get a job better. So I might as well give them a loan. You're making an argument for why that makes sense.
Now, and redlining,
it's crazy as it sounds.
Weren't redlining was partly of your economic class too, right? It wasn't just
race. Nah, it was definitely because you black.
No, yeah, there were pilgrims that were redlined too, and I can prove.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that is a particular factual time frame in which you can identify and say they intentionally.
Okay, so when a white person gets denied for a loan, what are they gonna say?
When did they get denied for loans?
They definitely get denied for loans. We're not doing that, right? Back then, like, we're not doing that. They definitely get denied for loans.
So what excuse can they reach for when they get denied for a loan?
They gotta really look bad on paper, like really bad. See, that's what we said. Listen, this is what we saying.
Crazy.
If a black person look great on paper and they still don't get a loan, that is saying that it's something wrong with the system.
So let's take a bigger approach to this. I like candid conversations, right? Let's just say, because you kind of agree with a little bit of nepotism. Let's just say that I decided to start a bank with a few of my friends, right? And I'm like, yo, all right, y'all trust me. I'm gonna build up this. Look, go collect some money from your friends and family, everybody that's willing to pitch in. And let's just say the whole town is gonna be white because of that. So I built out this bank. I'm like, dang, y'all trust me that much? I got enough money. I can build another bank in the next town. And I do that. I'm like, I dang, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even have this coming. I'm gonna look out for my people. That's normal stuff. We have black banks. So do black banks not deny people? Or do you think they are like morally correct? Because when they deny somebody, it is solely based upon the fact that they don't think they can pay it back.
I think that's black people's problem. They keep trying to do things the right way. Instead of don't do it the right way, do it the white way.
Did you see in upstate New York, there's a town where there's a bunch of J people, and they getting over on the system with the welfare and the government system.
He is correct. We do try to play by the rules a lot, especially if you kind of somewhat make it a little bit. You like, dang, I don't want to mess up a good thing just to try to get a little bit ahead. That's why I always tell people when I say, look, you got upper class, middle class, and low class, right? People at the bottom have the best life to get to the top because they're more willing to take that super risk to get up there. People in the middle are the worst because they just don't want to fall down. They're not willing to do enough to ascend up. And the people already at the top going to do more than enough to stay at the top. So that's what typically goes on. So he is right. They don't be wanting to take those risks. They be wanting to play the game fair and, not mess up the rules. And I know for sure a lot of people be claiming that they have no income getting their government assistance while working for cash under the table in a business that allows them to get away for that. And they stack it up and they grind and they do their little they do their little family behind the scenes stuff. I see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
So I see it happen all the time. That part is 100% true where we haven't adopted those a lot per se, and if we do, we probably afraid we're gonna be the one that get caught. Black Gold Mula in the building says, "Ayo, good to see you, my boy. We miss you in these YouTube streets." Yeah, Yeah, I don't know, man. I be scared to be coming back here, y'all. Y'all cause me a lot, I get in trouble a lot on here. So, and I'm getting old. You see the gray hairs coming in. Okay, HD was good. Says salute. Are you back on a regularly scheduled program? Nope, absolutely not. I don't have no regular scheduled program. I just got the itch for the conversations right now, and I'm one of those people. Let me give you the example. Shout out to Mula. Shout out to HD. When I get a feel for something, I'm like, just do it, because most people never ever try. So they be like, oh, I really want to do something. And you be like, okay. You see them a week later. Did you try it? No. Oh, I really want to try this. Okay, is you gonna do it? I want to, but they just excuse making. So I'm like, I do social media, whatever the case is. If I feel like this is cool, I just do it. So it just becomes how it feels in the moment right now for me.
Let me give you an example, fighter. Right? Let me ask you a question. If you got a person who's not straight and narrow, ask you to get you a job at a place that you got power at, would you get them a job, fighter?
Ooh, that is a loaded question. Now, I'm going to answer the question because I don't run from no smoke. The truthful answer is this: circumstantial, meaning I know they coming there on some BS. I got to be in on it with them. I got to be like, if I know you be on that, I'm like, look, I got to find a way to win out this. I know you're going to do something, Jake. I got to manipulate this situation so I can get this bread on the back end, try to find a way to protect myself at the same time. And if it all go bad, the blame is on you. If I can get that circumstance, I might take it. But in the general sense, nah, man, like that ain't right.
Okay.
Yeah, in the general sense. But I'm creating the scenarios when it would be advantageous to do something like that.
What about you, fighter?
Nah.
Congratulations, both. Congratulations. Hello, listen.
I had a friend of mine that tried. Yeah,
Congratulations. Both of y'all think like black men. White people don't care. Listen, white people will refer the worst, and Mexicans do this too. Because I think Mexicans adapt this from white people. They refer people regardless. They don't care if they the worst of the worst. They can be a crackhead. And they say, hey, you Mexican? All right, cool. Now it's your job to keep the job. But they gonna refer. Listen, I'm just telling you, white people think this way, is that no, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get my people ahead, regardless. I done seen white people refer. Listen, I done seen white people refer the most stupidest people, and they say that's not on me, and they'll refer another one, and they'll refer another one, and they would keep referring people because they don't look at it as their name is on the line.
Oh no, I agree with that. I believe part of that. Yeah, I've seen that for sure. I think sometimes you just got to get to a point where I don't know if that's definitively true in the sense of they ain't worried about their name. I think their position is solidified that they are not punished for it. Like there are circumstances where I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and take the risk. Yeah. I'm gonna just go ahead and let's just do it. Like there are circumstances, especially if you're more at a solid foundation in your life, you can afford to take those risks. A lot of times we are not positioned to take the same risks as other groups because we don't have the backing. If I fall, we all fall down together. Nobody's gonna put me back up.
They look at it as it's not even a risk. They not gonna lose their job.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. But if they were in the circumstance to where it was a risk, like, hey, if I come to you, hey, I want you to hire some people, but I'm depending on you because I'm trusting you to hire the right people. It's on you if it don't work out. If that conversation happened, they will act accordingly and be like, yeah, I can't really.
No, but I'm just telling you. See,
they usually give it jobs.
This is why nepotism works so well. My uncle owned the company. I can refer whoever I want to refer. I'm not getting fired because I'm gonna go tell my sister.
That's where you jump into the nepotism aspect of it, and then we're commingling with other aspects. I think that's once again they're just familiar with this. Like they're familiar with these people. They're more comfortable. Most people like comfort in every aspect of their life. If they can implement comfort in it, most people will try to do it. And if you see a black guy walk and see a group of 20 Hispanic people, 20 white people, they realize I could, I'm comfortable in my skin. I could get along with anybody. But if I see a group of 20 black people, I'm going over where the black people at. It's comfort. So that I just associated where there's just a comfort level there where there's cultural understandings in most cases. But if they find out that you're not rocking with them, they're gonna disown you quickly too. So I get what you're saying though.
I'm just trying to help. I want people to understand that white people don't even think they're gonna lose the job. It's
Oh,
funny
for
how
sure.
black people listen. It's funny, like the first thing that black people thought is, I'm gonna lose my job by referring him.
Yep, for sure. I know that mentality. I know exactly what you mean because I remember it was kind of like passed on to me. Like people would attempt that, right? But I would just look at it. If I can help somebody, I'm gonna help them. But I ain't about to put. I have to make sure it doesn't hurt the company overall, right? So if I'm like, okay, look, I'm not gonna just hire somebody just because they black. Absolutely not. But if they qualified and I don't believe they can hurt the business, oh yeah, you know that's for sure. Yeah,
But
that's
look, just listen to what you saying, Aaron. You would not hire somebody just because they're black. Do you think white people will hire somebody just because they're white?
circumstantial wise sometimes, but the short answer is not. Like, let me give you I understand what you're saying, but the reason I'm going to push back a little bit is that for the Ford company, right? You can't just get on the board in the Ford family just because you
No,
brought it.
you talking about the top. They got
But
dummy
see, look,
dumb
this
working
is what I'm
ass
saying. They have
to
criteria to not allow people to destroy the business. So if I have mechanisms in place
No,
to where
I'm
tell
not
me,
talking about running the company. No,
that's
because
what I'm saying. You
no,
talking
I'm talking
general
about.
jobs that are not
I
destructive.
know, I
Yeah,
know,
come on,
I
man.
know at Ford they got that dumb uncle who been the janitor supervisor making $147,000 a year. I'm telling you, they still make a place for their people. Now they're not gonna give you. They're not gonna give dumb people power to make decisions.
Thank
I'm
you.
not saying
Okay,
that.
there we
I'm
go.
not saying that.
So we got the baseline there. Okay, now outside of that, I'm rocking with what you're saying. Outside of that, for sure, that they will definitely just hire you. Oh, we need the job. Hey, get that white for sure. For sure, I will give you that. I can see that happening all the time. I don't necessarily think that's a singular privilege because, like you attested earlier, if black people have a job, they do the same thing. So it's just we're utilizing the identity of these individuals to say that's why the privilege was given, which is fine, right? But if we couldn't use color at all, right? If we were not racial people, which is impossible to be, right? Because that's just naturally how people are. If we weren't, what would be the qualifying factors for our decision making then?
Uh, how much melanin you had in your skin. We'll find another way. We'll find like unless are you asking if we all was colorblind?
Well,
I'm
there are
trying to
certain
understand.
distinctive features we can still see, right? One would argue it's merit, right? Oh, we're going to have to hire somebody on merit, like based upon their abilities to do something if we just remove the racial component, right? And many companies do try to do that. They don't want to get sued anymore and all these type of things. But the individuals tend to still have their bias. Like that, it's kind
Well,
of
hold on.
hard to get away from that.
I'm trying to ask.
Yeah,
You
how can you
think? Hold
police
on.
that? How can you police
Hold on.
that?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Y'all think people get hired for skills?
Yes.
That is crazy. No, I get if you need somebody to be an architect and you're building a
You're
house,
literally
and
making my
then
point earlier. This is what I said. I said it's
listen,
levels to this.
most people don't get hired for the skills that they have.
Damn. Dang.
Most people, I'm gonna say this again for the people in the back. Most people don't get hired for the skills they have. They get hired because somebody likes them.
Okay, so you're telling me I could apply for I could go to on what indeed.com or something and I could just go try to find someone that likes me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Listen,
so
I'm telling you, I done seen people leave college, and I know they never showed up to a class, and I know they did not have that skill. But
so
guess what?
so
Oh, go
so
ahead.
let's say I say, you know what, white privilege, yeah, okay. You made some good cases where the gentleman club, that's a fair argument for the aspect of it being a privilege associated with race. Like that you picked a specific scenario. It's not the one in which is usually expressed by people in real life or online. They usually make different expressions, but I'll take that answer. The question now is this. You said everybody has privilege, right? Everybody has, there's black privilege, Asian privilege, white privilege. Which is the best privilege and why?
Oh, without a doubt, Asian privilege.
Mm, 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 mm.
Asian privilege.
Asian privilege.
Asian privilege is so good that they got it and nobody talk about it.
They outperform economically, earning wise. The white
If
counterparts. And
Asians listen, Asians show white people how to take care of their own people. I know that sounds crazy. I know some of y'all be like, what is he saying?
So it's funny you say that. I'm gonna just cut you. I'm gonna let you finish. Right, we got Chinese New Year, right, which is what 2 days ago it started. Like, ironically, the whole concept of it is like they call them either the red envelope, the red pocket, if like depending on
$2. Give me my $2.
Yeah. So like it's so interesting, right? Because like I think it lasts for a few weeks to where if you run into somebody. And they like, here you go, here go your envelope, here go your envelope. And it's such some people get the big dollars in the envelopes, by the way. They get big money in those. And some people don't. It's economic and all those things and circumstantial. But the culture of it is, let's make sure we're taking care of each other. Here goes some money just because.
Just because.
Just because. Now, is that a privilege? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's the right way to identify it as. You see what I'm saying? So that's the part I kind of struggle a little bit with. But culturally, boy, it's a great idea. It's a great way to build culture. It's a great way to build, hey, just because. Here you go. We don't really have a lot of just because. And I always find that to be very
and I wish black people did. What is that thing called? Oh, I was just having a conversation with my mother-in-law. It's called so basically what happened is, say you got $1,000, right? They do this in Asian culture all the time. Aaron, you got $1,000. We all got $1,000, right? And we
once a month or once a quarter.
Once a month.
All that money to one person.
I know what that is. Yeah, and then every month someone gets the big portion of it, and everyone got to keep putting in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why don't we do that?
Well, because we don't think that black people go get the money.
There you go. Because I'm going to tell you why not. And I'm going to give you the general sense of one, we'd have to create it to be a cultural thing to consistently do it. But two, the ones that will do it are already in a good position. That's why they want to do it. Hey, bro, I'm doing well. Let me help some people out. And then the ones that are not in a good position, they're like, yeah, like, can I be first? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this again 3-4 months down the line. So it's not culturally adopted enough for you to be able to say it don't matter who the individual is, plug them in the system. It's too risky without the system being implemented. But somebody got to start it.
Yeah, but I just see them do that a lot. So they'll do $1,000 might be too much, but like
it is a little high. But I get the concept, and I've definitely heard and seen about that as well.
And I don't think people understand, like, Fighter, if you got $12,000 this month, how much would that change your year?
That could set me up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't understand how that's something I just wish black people work together more. But anytime I say that, then they say, why are you trying to compare us to other races? Cool, I get you. I don't want to be compared to nobody. But it's just certain things I've seen in my life that I know plenty of times in my life, you give me 12,000, I'm going to have 100 by the end of the year. Guaranteed. Listen, guaranteed by the end of that year, I'm turning that 12 to 100. Yeah. Ain't too many people can say that. But I'm telling you, I'm turning it to 100.
Yeah, I probably like lose half of it. All right, so just like don't even incorporate me in y'all group. It's gonna get ugly. I lose half the money already. I'm like, my bad. We were shooting dice. But anyway, no, I think those are cool concepts. But I think we're very too much wishful people. We just wishing on a star. Like, no, like the only thing you can do, and you know this, is you change the immediate impact on your family. That's where you can start a culture, create a culture, and your direct impact is influence on there. And then outside of there, everywhere else, it's a little bit harder to do that.
Those are also my arguments because I think in theory it's sounds fantastic to be communal, but things like practicing like financial, like we were just speaking about financial discipline, that's a very individual thing. Wouldn't you say? Like how can
Yeah, I get that, but I think we can be communal because like all of my business partners are black, and like I know this for a fact. Me and the business, me and my best friend started. I don't care what he did, and I don't care what I did. It's no way we could have made as much money as we make if we was apart. This is some things that people I know that sound crazy,
No, it
and
don't.
I've
It's
been
logical.
I've been trying to figure it out. I was like, how are us coming together? It's not like most people think two people come together and the business doubled. We came together and it 10x.
Yeah.
And so and I think that's kind of what black people don't understand is that working with black people, because he got skills that he do, I got skills that I do, and those things merging together. And sometimes it's so much better to bounce ideas off somebody who can.
It's a shared vision. So when you in business, you guys have shared goals. That's why they attribute what's it called? Like that's why they attribute compensation goals so much, right? Oh, let me my brother. What's up, Beans? So they attribute compensation goals to have a shared goal and outcome. Hey, we all incentivized for this outcome. So when you have multiple people wanting the same outcome, yeah, the odds of success is much higher than you have a bunch of individuals doing individual things in a business. So I totally understand how you could 10x that business when you have like somebody that's has a similar dedication to you and like, yo, we have a shared outcome and you're tied to the success of the business. Like that's literally how most businesses are built top down. Like they just make sure the people at the bottom can't destroy them too much. So yeah, now that makes sense. That's what's up, man. Keep promoting that. It sounds like you on your little black privilege stuff right now. So
Yeah.
if you want to do
But
that.
Beans about to come up anytime he got the
That's
red do
what I
rag
mean.
on. Now I'm
No,
telling you, he about to get us. I'm telling you, it's coming. He about to
he
tell us
just
about
didn't
white
make it home to
privilege.
switch it to the white one. That's all. He just didn't make it home yet. Yeah, that's all that is, And so,
Well, I want to see what Beans say because I think Beans gonna
why you
side
want
with
to
me.
harass him? He coming up here, he just chilling, he relaxing, and you
Well, I
want
want to ask him a question. You telling me I can't ask Beans a question? Dang.
I don't know because that might be privilege. I ain't trying to get no privilege shit right now to nobody.
Do you believe in white privilege, Beans?
Oh, well, see, this is why I'm not good for these conversations because words matter. What do you mean by believe?
Do you believe like it exists? Like, do you think white privilege exists? That's the conversation, or does
So
not
let me
exist?
clarify.
Yes.
Do you believe it exists the way people express that it exists? Like, oh, that's why. Like we played the lady earlier. She was just like, "You got this white privilege." She's like, "No, I ain't got no white privilege." Like, I understand when people blurt it out. Like, I understand historically how you can make a blanketed statement, right? Oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to get this land, and your grandfathers passed all this land. And I understand the economic part of it, right? But in this day and age, right, you can't just tell a white person, "Hey, you got white privilege just because you white." That's that. Where do they sign up at for that? It's not attributed at birth because the same argument you make for one person, the other one can make an argument that no, I don't have that. So it can't be blanketed.
No, well, but see that when you say blanketed, right? The problem with that terminology is that when people hear it, they're gonna think that it means everybody.
Correct.
But that's not what it means. What it means is it's more probable. So that's what the blanket really is. The blanket is that if I pick you because you fit into that demographic, do I think if you made me choose, do I think it's more likely yes or no that this jacket fits you? And I'm gonna say yeah, but that don't mean that it fit everybody.
Correct. So like,
you know what I'm saying?
So that's the bias that we put in. Like I was telling Edom, man, like you assume that's the reason. Like they wouldn't let me in the country club, and they only allow white people in there. And he's like, because I just know it has to be true. But did they say that specifically?
But
Well,
they did tell me. They told me my money wasn't good, and I know Beans. I know my checks cash. It was because I was black. I don't care what nobody say. It's nobody on this earth can convince me I
First
couldn't
of all,
get that country
your checks
club.
have bounced before. I went and pulled up your history. Your checks have bounced before. You don't get on the
I
internet.
don't write checks. That's how you lying. I don't even write checks just so I never bounce.
But Aaron, guess what? Guess what? The problem comes with that is now you're questioning people's ability to discern. I hate when people do that to me, because again, now you're gonna make the argument that it has to be every time in order for me to say I know what I saw.
No, no. If you present it that way, I accept your statement, right? Because you like, well, no, it's more than likely, or I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but that's not how it's expected. People don't espouse it that way. They just blurt it out, and they tend to just say, just because you're white, you have this privilege, and I can look around and be like, how did you get to that conclusion? Because that's just that just doesn't add up. Because it's a lot of examples of non-included people that are white that are not included. So when you say, yeah, but not saying all of them, then I'm like, okay, now that make more sense now. So now we're getting a little
Beans
more
corroborated the existence of it by how he said
Well, hold on.
by how he worded it.
Hold on, no. See, because I got a different take. I believe all white people have white privilege. All white people don't use white privilege.
Now that's a ridiculous statement.
Okay, think about it like this, though, Aaron. Imagine somebody said, "Man, everybody in the NBA is over 6 feet," and then somebody say, "Well, what about Spud Webb and what about I forget the kid, Nate Robinson?" They start naming the 7 people in the history of the league,
correct,
that weren't
correct.
over 6 feet. You see what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but it's not attributable in this conversation, particularly because the majority of white people are poor. The majority of them. So, like, usually when these conversations come up, it's usually an economical impact. Oh, yeah, you're going to be benefiting from this financially to some degree. Because outside of that, we don't care if you get access to this, and we don't if it's not a financial impact for most of us. We really don't care. Like, if it ain't messing with the bottom line of the money, I don't really want to hang out at your club anyway. I don't dance the way you dance anyway. I don't need to be included in that. So it's typically an economic outcome that we are usually complaining about when we make those assertions. So I'm saying the majority of them broke anyway. So like, so the qualifier is you gotta be white. So then there's more qualifiers after that. That ain't enough. I
don't think it's qualified.
So wouldn't you also say, because you mentioned that the majority are poor, and then they're the majority of the population. So wouldn't you take that into account too?
No.
But that doesn't.
Has nothing to do with
the extension of the privilege, though. Like, let's just. Okay. Is it okay if I use something historical?
Well, I talked about earlier, like I try to bring it closer to modern day because I understand historical context of where we can isolate, redlining, all these type of different things that did occur. I'm not even disputing that they do occur. I'm saying when we go out and just say, oh, you're a white man, you have privilege, that isn't a ridiculous assertion just to blow that out at somebody. It's ridiculous to do that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's based on historical evidence, right? And the evidence that we're talking about, actually, contrary to what you're saying, it ain't even about people with money. It's about the average, ordinary white person being able to go lynch a black person and get away with it. Right? Yeah. It's about the average. It's about a white man being able to call the police and tell them, hey, I'm tantamount to stalking, but following this kid who has done nothing wrong. And even after being told to stop following him and leave him alone, You still continue to follow them, approach them, end up in a scuffle, shoot them, and you
Yeah,
get off.
yes, I get it, right? But we'll bring it back to like real time, right? I don't.
It just happened. That was 10 years ago.
So let me give you an example, right, of how normally a privilege is usually something that I don't have access to do, right? You're like you doing something, meaning that I can't do it because I'm me, which for either man's circumstances is if I own a house, I don't have to share my house with you if I don't like you. For whatever reason, if I only want people in here with nice long wigs in here, and I don't want you in here because you ain't wearing the wig that I want, and I don't like you, I don't have to share with you is the point. That if something is yours, you don't have to share. You're not entitled for me to share with you. So if I own a club, you go make your own club, and you're not entitled to have to share with me. So I don't have a privilege over you. This is mine. That's yours. That's yours. You do what you want with it. So it's not, you're not entitled to something just because you want to be included. So
Aaron, do you know the racial demographics of the state of Maine?
I don't know those demographics on the top of my head. Absolutely not.
It's over 88% white. So you would say that it's it's very probable, right? It's a high probability that the politicians are going to be white.
And is your argument is the majority tends to lead to outcome?
It's a component.
Okay, that's a fair.
It's a big component.
Wait, but Aaron, I think it's problematic because the example that you're using is, to me, is not what's being inferred when people say because you're white. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The because you're white is not I can't get something because I'm me or because I'm black. It's just that it's more likely you're going to have the privilege of this thing because you're white, right? So, and that's what I'm saying. To me, I think it's more about the historical impact more so than it is. Give you an example. To E's point about not being able to get into a specific club or whatever, right? I won't say I can't get in because I'm black. I'll say you can get in. Let's say you were white. I'll say, well, you'll be able to get in there because you're white. You see what I'm saying? That's the privilege that we're talking about. And it don't even have anything to do with money. That's why I'm saying when people just randomly say that, to your point, it ain't even about no money. It's just we believe you're going to get the good job. You're going to get the bank loan. You're going to get the whatever. You're going to get the grace. We was just talking about, we just found out on my boy channel, shout out to Sherm. His brother was just telling us that there's a black man in Florida who got 37 years in prison because he let his son drive his car.
Yeah, I saw that.
And his son ended up speeding, crashing, and took the lives of 4 people, right? And so they gave the father 37 years. But then we know when the white kid in Texas did that same thing, and he took the lives of 4 people and injured others, he got 10 years probation, and they didn't do nothing to the parents. Now, people will argue to your point that was an economical component. Even the defense itself, affluenza, was based on economics, right? But when you think about it, hey, do I think if we swap that family out and put a black family in there that we get the same result? You don't automatically know if you will. Even if you think it's a possibility, you don't automatically know if you will. But you do know that family was white and they got off.
I don't know.
I understand the optics of it. I just think that's something that's always going to exist because we have a system of individuals that have their own views and biases. And the problem that I would then have, if there's merit to that in the sense of in a legal way, because this is the legal system. If you know the legal system, if you don't, they can be sued. If the judge is shown to have disproportionately charged people this here in modern time, we have legal rights to sue them. Now, if you say, hey, I don't have the funds to sue somebody, I can understand that. But just go find Ben Crump and all that good stuff. And yeah, those.
But Aaron,
All right.
I don't like that you're not using old privilege right now and letting Uncle Jeff
No,
talk.
because I've already acknowledged, I understand why we speak about the historical
Hilarious.
context of it, right? But as we fast forward to now, when we just blanketly just look at somebody and go, oh, you have the privilege and this, that, and then you hear the person that screams it out and, okay, justify why I have it, and they just have no clue. You can find older people who have experienced things and go, yeah, I know what's going on, this, and that. But it's not typically current outcomes now. They can find isolated situations, just like I can find isolated situations when a black person hey got the benefit for this, as opposed to that. We can find them. It's just we don't tend to look for things that are not advantageous to our argument. That's what I'm noticing currently.
But that sounds like you're trying to suggest that it's comparable.
No, what I'm saying is that
let me make sure that you understand. You're not saying that those quote unquote isolated incidents, that the number itself is comparable between black and white. No, you're not saying that.
No, I'm saying we find isolated situations like this happen and then compare it to something else. You're saying there's a bevy of way more circumstances historically that I can pull that wouldn't justify this now. And I'm saying I don't know if that's consistent, because you have the right to sue. We've sued we sued police departments. People won millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. We have more knowledge now. We have access to certain things. We can sue if what we found to be true is being implemented. So that's where I'm like, yeah, I don't know, because why ain't the lawsuits popping
Sue in jail? Sue while you behind bars?
I think
they just gave you life.
I think that's the privilege right there.
How far down am I?
Oh, go ahead, Uncle Jeff. I can wait. It's all good.
I think you gotta give him his old privilege and let him go.
Go ahead.
You're an asshole.
No, but that's outside of his inability to do proper push-ups. If you need and what's up to the panel? Number one, in the back that I have to share, there's a sister by the name of Kyla Janae Lacey, who is a poet who is blowing up with this monster poem about what white privilege is. I left it in the chat so that we don't have to snap on my internet and how it'll freeze. Let's not have that happen. But at your leisure, I'd like you to peruse that. In the meantime, if you need a recent, because that's what it seems like you're missing, Ron, is a recent example of white privilege, I'd like to give you one. As some people may know, I've been known to dabble in a little bit of real estate. Well, I got together with some other people and we were trying to buy real estate in a block. And we were having problems with it and couldn't figure out where all the paperwork and red tape was coming from. And what it was coming from was these codes that are given to black people with good credit. And banks going out of their way. Google Wells Fargo lawsuit banks. Just Google that, where it has been proven that they were purposely going out of their way to deny black people loans by code. As a matter of fact, there's a comedian you may have heard of or not. His name is D.L. Hughley. When he got ready to sell his house, his realtor told him, take your pictures down. Take down anything that's Afrocentric. He did not. I am not telling his business because he has told this on national radio in over 300 markets. He found out that his house was being grossly undervalued because black people lived there. That's racism. That's what I always say. Y'all got it wrong when you get most of us don't know racists. You think cops are racist. No, they're not. You think the hillbillies running by throwing bottles at you out of truck and burning crosses is racist. No, it's not. Racism is a team sport where one group conspires against another group to keep one group from resources. That's racism. I have felt it directly. There are many of us who have felt it directly. Because no one is chasing you and burning 8-foot lowercase t's in your grass anymore, you seem to have put all people in a vacuum. And I'll land here. The only place you can put people in said vacuum is when you understand that racism in itself has outlived its usefulness because the power elite is after common people now, because they don't really need white people to keep the other people in line, because now BOTS do JOBS. But to say that white privilege doesn't exist because you can sue, bruh, that's taking a shit on your ancestors right now. It still exists, brother. It still absolutely exists.
Well, people make the argument that it exists. Black privilege exists. Everybody has privileges.
I've never heard that.
You never heard black privilege?
Nope. In 61 years, never heard of it. And the only place I've seen it is in roller skate rinks, nightclubs, food. I see it culturally, but if you could tell me where there's some privilege that allows me because of my skin to advance on a social scale, brother, that's just coming in with you, Ron. And I think sometimes it's a little it's like being at the end of a marathon and going, why are you guys thirsty for Gatorade? I'm not. Well, you didn't just run 26.2 miles, nigga. It's very convenient at your age to say that you don't see white supremacy or that you don't see white privilege. And I can tell you right now, just like I'm standing here in front of you, as I have sat on the ground in $1,200 suits. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I live under the worst. I live under the worst police department in America, the Los Angeles Police Department, without question.
Well, what I heard you say is that it is a race, and there's groups, and that if your group was winning, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Say again?
Yeah. So what I heard you say is, hey, this is group battles going on here. And
group economics.
Group economics.
And then I heard you say basically, if your group was winning, you wouldn't have no problem in the winning group. You just don't like the loop being part of the losing group, right?
No.
Let me do it.
Let's pretend I said it. Let's pretend I said it.
No. You didn't say those words verbatim, right? I'm insinuating those for a reason.
Okay, there you go.
Yes,
right.
yes, it's clear. The reason why that I'm insinuating is because, are you telling me that if your group was winning, you would systematically put things in place to say, I don't want to be winning. I want to make sure that it's fair for people to take over my group? Or would you essentially do the same thing that you're speaking to that exists now from the other group?
That's a great question.
I hope he didn't freeze.
That's a fan. No. Okay, guys, I need you to relax.
I thought you froze. I'm sorry. We sorry.
Well, okay.
You froze.
Hold on, guys. I want everybody here that doesn't have a pussy under here to calm down for a second. I freeze for a few seconds. Don't let it get your nuts in a bunch. It's only 5 to 15 seconds. If you can wait that long, I would love to address that. No.
But God don't play by these kids. He getting talking to me crazy.
Okay, I tell you what. Since it's bothering you, I can just cut it up and make clips on my own fucking show, or I can get to it.
You don't want freezing? It's your internet. You act like it's my internet that you ain't working.
It's you, and it's actually Beans that's actually freezing.
Y'all got it. Never mind.
Beans ain't freezing.
No, go ahead. Just ignore them. They gonna mess with you. You know that's what the young people do. I didn't say nothing. I'm listening. I'm trying to learn. I said it says, "Am I wrong?"
My bad, Beans.
I'm open-minded to the conversation.
Okay, sure. Well, here's why you're wrong. Because when the Moors invaded Sicily, They didn't just grape the women. They did not just take over and bully for centuries. They taught these people to bathe. They taught them to drink clean water. They taught them not to pick their asses and eat what they find. And as a
I need some shit up here, man.
They don't want people, the people I know, the black people I know, don't want anyone to be disadvantaged. They just want to be left the hell alone. So no, it is not in my nature. No, it is not in black people's nature. No, it is not in the people of color's nature, nor has it ever been. This is why it was so easy to take from the Native Americans, because they were not in this conquering energy. There's enough for everybody. Have you ever drove through Texas? There's plenty. No, that is not my energy. No, I don't need somebody else to lose for me to win. No.
So here's the thing.
You agree with that, Beans?
No, here's the thing I wanted to say. If I can remember it all, I'm starting to get old. My memory is damn, bro. First of all, I believe Jeff, right? That he wouldn't necessarily feel the need to what's the word I want to say, to conquer. Yeah. But the thing I would say that I disagree with what you said earlier, Jeff, I don't necessarily think that there has to be an element of, like, I can't remember the word that you said, which is why I should have just wrote it down.
Give me the rest of the sentence.
But like, I don't think that there has to be an element
of blank,
right, in order for privilege to exist, right? So I can be in a space, like I'll put you like this. If I have a club, which I did run a club for a minute, right? And I had artists who performed. Mm-hmm. If a white boy comes to my club and he wants to perform, his name goes to the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Right? All the black, it could have been black people who came after him. Okay. And they still going before him. Right?
Would that hurt it? Would that hurt his economic outcome? Like if that
wouldn't, that's my point though. But that would still be privilege for the black people.
So you don't believe that would hurt the economic outcome of that individual that wanted to work at your club to generate money? You don't
yes,
think that
it will.
No, I don't think so. No, not from that point of view. Now, if I had another situation where it was like that, if I had a situation where it was A&Rs and producers and all this type of stuff,
right,
coming to my club and trying to find talent and all of that, and this guy would be sitting around like, man, I could be performing right now in front of all these people, but he keep pushing my name further and further.
Look, if you look,
then
like,
that would be different.
One of my favorite like inspirational speakers is Steve Harvey. I'm not saying you gotta like him, but what I'm saying is he can really craft an inspirational story. I'm not saying he's genuine or none of these type of things. That's not the goal of it. I'm just using him as an example. He can well, I don't know if you know him or not, but he can craft a story and he can tell you, I didn't have no money in my pocket. And I really needed this performance. That put $100 in my pocket. I could fly to New York City. That ticket cost $99. I wouldn't have been able to make it without that show there. I needed that. Mm-hmm. You don't know if that individual needed to come to your club to perform and make that money. You don't know the impact it would have had on them.
I agree with you that I don't, which is exactly why my answer is what it is.
Got it. And so that's
why for a fact that it was impeding him, then I could tell you that. But since I don't know that, then all I can do is give you my opinion and say, no, not from what I had going on.
To be fair. Oh, no, go ahead. You want to expound on your point?
No, I was just because I want to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
I'm not, but my point is this: is not that the impediment for him doesn't exist. I'm only arguing that the privilege exists. And even though the privilege is only that these black folks have the ability to show up and perform in front of a white person who was there before them every Sunday if they want to, right? And it maybe didn't even do anything for them, but the privilege was still there to do it. And that white boy could make the argument, man, everybody else gets to perform before me because they're black. And he would be absolutely correct. You see what I'm saying? So that was my only thing.
So when
in contrast to what Jeff has said, I absolutely agree with everything he said.
Okay, I got you. So when we're in a position to enact a level of favoritism or so-called privilege, what we tend to do it sometimes, because we can make arguments that we ain't doing it enough, but
nearly enough.
Yes. But if we do start to do it, right? Like there are black people that own businesses, right? Do you believe they employ majority black people?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The numbers suggested, so yes.
Interesting. Do you think that they're hiring people on their merit, or it's? I'm just
favoritism and nepotism. We're not going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
But my curiosity comes from perspective, right? When the opportunity arises and you're able to actually do the same things that other groups are doing, you don't necessarily find it problematic. But
that's why I was saying I believe Jeff when Jeff said, now I'm saying Jeff, right? Replace Jeff with somebody else, and I might not believe them.
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying? But I believe him when he says, no, I wouldn't feel the need to conquer, because you have to be looking at it. Jeff, tell me you understand what I'm saying. You will have to be looking at it from the perspective of, I need to maintain this threshold over him, right? Because I'm concerned about what they'll do if I don't. But to his point, the Indians didn't have that kind of purview. We didn't naturally have that kind of purview. Once you know you're dealing with that kind of opposition, then you'll have that point of view. But if you don't know that, or if you don't believe that that's the type of person that you're dealing with, unless you're a white motherfucker from the Caucasus Mountains, you wouldn't even be thinking like that.
So what you're saying is we don't have
I'm about to tell Uncle Jeff why I got a problem with him. I got a problem with Uncle Jeff because he made me go to his website and they didn't have any lavender. And I went there telling my wife that we was going to have some lavender oil for our skin. And I had to get some Egyptian black butter, some other kind. And I am upset.
Wait. E-Man, I got you. Hold on. Hold tight. Hold tight. Thank you for bringing that up. That's hilarious. My son has been under the weather. He kind of handles that. When he put it up there, he was right, because I can't keep lavender. When women smell it, they buy 3-4 of them at a time, because it really is that hard to get. But I got you. I got some more. I just haven't changed it.
So you guys,
since I placed my order note, I think I should get a courtesy lavender. I bought that other stuff, that black Egyptian. I don't know what Egyptian
Nights over Egypt.
So are any of you familiar with the name Hannibal?
Yes.
Like
Lecter?
No, Barca.
No.
Baraka? Hannibal Baraka?
Hannibal Barca? No.
It's Baccarat.
The general?
Yes, the general.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm slightly familiar with Hannibal.
The conqueror. Yes. The conqueror.
Sure.
Who conquered the Roman, like the conqueror, like people that who've actually conquered people, right?
Yes.
So we can point at times of history and where many other groups went and conquered people. You can also point to the group, the Indians, that they were like, we ain't on none of that stuff. We don't even know that exists. We was minding our business because we couldn't travel to get to them until a certain point and whatnot, right?
Okay.
So almost every group has a history of conquering if they come into rivalry with another group, or you can get caught slipping if you're not on game, and we understand that if you have not experienced it, it's hard to prepare for it. But we do, like, there is a history of ethnic people trying to conquer other people as well. But that's not to say they did it the best at the highest level. I'm just saying, like, I think it's part of what human beings tend to do.
Okay. Could you tell me of another group of people in recorded human history that had taken a people's language, their culture, their customs, their gods, made it illegal for them to read, basically took their babies and sold them like puppies.
I got it. I don't.
Before, no. Let's finish it all, brother. You brought up, I'd like to bring up a few things. When you group all human beings in conquering and then try to compare them to America, you fall drastically short, brother.
I didn't make a comparison to America.
Yet that's exactly what you're doing. When we're discussing privilege on this rock, and you bring up conquering around the world and say
there was a reason why. Let me get this.
Oh, sure, my bad. Keep going.
I think people in America are upset because they can't have America. They can't conquer it. But there are other places that are conquered by different people. Different groups have conquered other areas. No, you ain't conquered America. It ain't your. They won that battle. They conquered this. But you can look around the world where other people have conquered other areas. They may have used different methods, but the outcome of who controls power there is the group that conquered the other group in which they took power from. When we look at land distribution, not everybody who has land rights in areas originally owned that. They went and conquered that land. Austria-Hungary. When you start to look at they went and took stuff. Yes. They used different methods.
You are making great points that I have no fucking idea why you're making them. But go right ahead.
So I was just pointing to the point that we have a history that if we can conquer somebody,
Who is we?
Well, you said basically the original statement was the other groups don't have a history of trying to conquer people.
I don't remember saying that.
And
if I did, forgive me for saying some ignorant shit like that. That don't even sound like me, but I'll apologize for saying some dumb shit like that. I don't ever remember saying.
But it wasn't that. I think it was more about him describing that it looked different. Right? Like he said, okay,
he went on to describe and expound on the differences of what America has done. I make no quarrels there.
No, he wasn't talking about America. He was. Remember, I think he correct.
Oh no, I brought up the Moors.
I think he said the Moors.
Yeah,
that would be. That would be dark Europe. Yeah.
Correct, but he decided now. To be fair, if you pick the best group of conquerors ever, hey guys, we're going to conquer you, but we're going to give you some food. We're going to give you some water. Cool, right? But don't forget the negative ones. You can find those too. What I'm saying is, you can't find no group of people where they were like, yeah, they conquer, but they would show was nice.
5% of the earth is related to Genghis Khan because of his conquering.
Yeah, that was
he was a graping, killing, pillaging, burning motherfucker. Now, could you tell me which group of people did he take their culture from, their God, their language, and for 4 centuries? Go.
How did we get here from white privilege? I think we don't.
No. Here's how we got here. Because what happens is what a lot of people, I can't even say young people, it's just Aaron does it, is I have a point. When you debate my point accurately, and I don't have a defense, I'm going to go to the fringe. But when you go to you're going to find my black ass right at the fringe with facts. That's what happened. And that's why we got over here. You are never, ever going to get around the barbarism of the European white man on this soil. It is unmatched.
I've heard this dude Khan name brought up a couple of times in the last week. What was his ethnicity?
Asian.
Asian.
Oh, okay.
Chinese. And bro, when I go read up on Genghis Khan,
he was a bad Chinese too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I think actually, let me throw this in there real quick, 10 seconds. I think either man is probably connected to some kind of crazy empire, because
yeah, he's right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna confirm. I'm gonna confirm it. Whatever it is, yeah, the people who
dead
conquer
serious,
people,
bro.
and I'm trying to conquer a business right now. They better sell.
I'm dead serious though, because I be watching little stuff and they be talking about how like, oh, they went to Mexico and they found this and they went here and they dug up and they had all these excavations and the facial makeup be looking just like you. But this is what I was
Wow. Wow.
But I could show you one. I promise you. Y'all think I'm playing? You're gonna be like, yes, that look exactly like Eda, man. But this what I'm saying though, AO. To me, I think it's a good argument, depending on who you're talking to, that most people would probably not have an issue with the current way things go if it were their people in charge and they would just kind of look at it from that lens of
I can give
we
you
gotta
the
do what
evidence.
we gotta do.
I can give you the evidence.
But if you do, here's what's gonna happen. If you show me, like, not even that, if you show me the evidence of another demographic of people being in that position, to me, I could be wrong, but that is a concession to the privilege.
No. What I'm saying is that all the groups that are winning, if you go to China, the Chinese is winning. They not debating on the second group. We keeping you down. Any other? They went in there. Go to every single country. The majority typically is winning, and they ain't complaining that they winning. They're not saying, "Hey."
But you arguing that privilege is there and it working.
No, I'm not speaking about privilege. This is what I'm trying to.
I'm not saying you're speaking to it. I'm saying it sounds like a concession.
No.
If you're telling me that wherever every place there's a demographic of people who are in charge.
Correct.
And in all of those places, they are the majority, right?
Unless you point to one where it doesn't exist.
Okay, then that kind of you're shooting your own argument in the foot.
I'm not. What's my argument?
Wait. Before you make the argument, because I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm gonna duck out.
Remember, he been away for a little while. Take it easy on the brain. He's like nigga been on vacation. He ain't ready.
I'm just trying to understand, how do you negate the privilege then? If you telling me this is y'all area, whether you was born there or whether y'all conquered it, you are the majority there. And being the majority there, you're in the majority of all leadership roles, all dominant roles, all choice-making roles. How do you escape? You can't even escape the privilege. It's going to exist just by the sheer number in the demographics. And that's why I'm saying, when people make, to your point, because you said they make the generalized statement, oh, no, it's because you white. That's why I'm saying you have to use something that wouldn't even prescribed to a man of means. You just pick the regular average white boy. Me and the white boy, we going for the same job. He get the job. Guess what? The owner is white. The manager is white.
That doesn't happen.
No, and I'm gonna expound why. Okay. You have to create the scenario. What if the black man owns the business? Does he get the job?
Wait, but that's okay. Let me answer your question. But I'm gonna answer your question. But Aaron, I'm not saying that the privilege wouldn't exist for blacks. I'm literally acknowledging that whoever
black privilege is
position, the privilege will exist. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Once you make the concession that people are in charge and they are the dominant demographic, whether that's in a business or in a country, you can't escape the privilege.
Okay, let me ask you this. I get it. Are there self-hating blacks?
Yes.
All right, so what if I'm a white guy, I own a business, but white people get on my nerves. I want to hire a bunch of brothers. Can that exist?
Yes.
No, point at the business.
That will nullify your argument now, then, because now
it doesn't.
Now what you're saying is, you know for sure that these people that own these businesses are not self-hating people. That's why they would continue to hire their people. You don't know. That's on an individual basis only. So it's circumstantial. And so what I'm saying is, if black people open businesses, there's nothing that's stopping them from opening business. If black people own this or own it, nothing is stopping them from doing that. They will then hire who they want. If they're self-hating blacks, they'll say, I ain't hiring no black folk around here. And so they not just gonna pick you because they black. It's whatever their individual desires is what will influence that.
But you're creating You're creating a specific scenario when you say if it's a self-hating black. Are the
And-
majority of black
and-
people
but
self-hating?
correct.
Probably
And
not, right?
you're creating a scenario where you say, well, there's a white guy that owns a business. I have a resume, and another white guy has a resume. They're going to get the job.
Wait, but my scenario is based on the demographic. My scenario isn't based on just that particular situation. My scenario is based on the fact that 80+% of the businesses are owned by white people. 80+% of the businesses are ran by white people. 80+% of the supervisors, the managers, the HR, it's all white people. The politicians, white. The police, white. The judges, white. The mayors, the governors, white. Everywhere you look. So how can you even avoid the privilege? You can't avoid it. It's going to exist somewhere. Is my argument. You not go and if you swap that out and put black people right there, yes, I'm going to concede the same privilege would exist. I just don't think the conquering element would. But
that's the fear of most white people, is what he just said. That's the fear. That's the fear of by 2048 being the minority for what he just said. For the very same Ron, I bet you. If we use your big mama, my big mama, Beanie's big, and so forth, and we put our heads together and came up with a barbecue recipe that was a beast, and decided to put a barbecue, the Five Soul Brothers barbecue in Koreatown, we would go out of business in 90 days. Do you know why? Because once they don't give a fiddler's finger how good your food tastes. What color is he? Who does it belong to? Because we are going to strengthen our money. And I'm telling you, brother,
they support their own.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have an issue with it. The problem
so it's not privileged then. So like I get why we keep trying to attach the privilege aspect. What they're saying is, oh yeah, we share money with each other. And are you making the argument that you want them to share their money with you, or you want to be left alone so you can make money? I'm trying to understand, because you pointed to one group, another group does the same thing. Koreatown, Japantown, Chinatown, they're sharing money amongst each group. Is the frustration that exists is that black people just won't share their money with each other, and unless y'all force us to do it, we ain't gonna do it? Is the frustration that, man, black people only gonna do something if they force us to do it? Because if we got to make our own conscious decision to spend our money with each other, we not gonna do it.
That's a very
because they're not forcing y'all to do it.
That's a very long question. I was waiting for just let me know when you stop. Number one, I could not possibly say that, because then I would have to look my friends in the face who are members of the Nation of Islam, which is thriving right now. I would have to look my friends that I know that happen to be Mormons that live in Utah, who are thriving right now. I would have to ignore all of that in order to say anything close to what you're asking. And no, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is to deny the fact that the worst, in my opinion, a white boy's luck should get is night manager at Jack in the Box. I'm never going to ignore that. I don't give a damn what your criminal record look like. If you can show up as a white man at Jack in the Box for 90 days, they'll make you manager. And that is that it's unavoidable. It is written down. It has been lived by everybody before you. Now, for you to say that it doesn't exist would mean that I'm full of shit in this class action lawsuit that I'm dealing with other black people who were denied loans to banks.
So you got the privilege to sue in a country that's dominated by this group. They gave you the privilege to sue them.
No. I have the burden to sue. I shouldn't have to sue at all.
The burden of proof. No. The burden of proof. All right, let me ask you this. That's somewhat a great response.
That's a good point.
Now let me ask you this: was there a time in this country where you couldn't sue a white person?
Look here. Yes.
So there was a time.
Yes.
So now you have the privilege to sue them now.
And you know what, Aaron? You are so right. Maybe we both will have a party because the foot is half out my ass. Is that what you're discussing?
No.
That's what it sounds like you're saying. That because I can afford a lawyer to sue for something I should have in the first goddamn place, that I should be happy. Well, we look at it a little different.
Wait, Jeff. No, not because you can afford it. Because he didn't say that. He said you have the privilege to do it. Right?
Okay.
So the privilege itself doesn't necessarily mean that you can. It just means that you could.
Yeah, okay,
right?
Sure.
That's why the privilege, what you're trying to argue is privilege to me, that's some bullshit. But
it's absolutely more than my point.
The definition, it says a special right, advantage, or immunity granted. Right? So, and now that's the definition. We can get into it if you want to.
I know the definition.
But to me, that doesn't even apply. Being able to sue is not a special right, in my opinion.
It's not a special right if you didn't have the right to do it prior?
Wait.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait, whoa.
You didn't have the right to do it. Here's the thing. Actually, you did. You were being impeded from exercising the right.
So you saying the right existed, you just couldn't exercise it.
Right. You weren't being allowed to exercise the right that existed. But it ain't special. It was supposed to be a right for every man.
Wait. So now, fair enough. I will accept that because I want you to cook. Now let's go back to the part that he has the money to do it. Is that privilege? Because it goes directly to privilege, because if you can't afford to sue, then you wouldn't be, because that's why he said I can afford to do it. Because if you can't afford to do it, can you sue? Think about it.
I don't. Okay.
Yes,
that's the advantage.
Okay, no, that's not an advantage.
It is an advantage if someone else can't afford.
Let me explain to you. I am not comparing. But this is the deal. This is the same shit. This is the same shit that Republican white folks do, where they break your legs and then make fun of how you walk. Just because I happen to be, that's like saying you're privileged as an athlete to be in a position to have to fight to be treated fairly as an athlete. No, it's not.
And the thing,
are you sure?
It's not supposed to be. It's actually not supposed to be an advantage. That's the point of the law. Right?
Thank you.
The law, if the law exists, it says that
I know you're not arguing for the law.
Capable of doing, then it shouldn't be well. Again, the white boy killed 4 people. He got 10 years probation. The black boy does it. His father gets 37
in
years.
America.
In Florida.
In America.
I just know for a fact that this night over the Egypt shea butter better be good when I try it tomorrow. Because I'm going to let the whole internet know about your shea butter.
Is the privilege getting less time?
What's that?
The privilege is getting less time?
No. The privilege is getting serviced.
So he's asking according to the cases. Yes, the privilege is getting less time. Yes, absolutely.
Well, let me just read the super chat. Victor All says, for privilege to exist, the item that gives them such privilege would supersede all other factors to prevent them from using it majority of the time.
Not prevent them. They don't have to. Okay. Like, it's not even something that they have to do. That's what I'm saying. When I lived in Iowa, you know what I did? Now, I'm not saying that it didn't exist. But where I lived at in Iowa, you know what I didn't see? Homeless white people, hungry white people, right? Like, where I lived at, you got a job, you had a place to stay, you know, people had kids, families, and that. Like, everybody was okay. You go into these other places, major cities and shit, and then now you see all the problems, but you start seeing where the privilege exists. Where the privilege exists. Right?
Let me get back to some core of this. Let me just understand: is white privilege a problem?
Yes, but wait, Aaron, don't dump this because you're trying not to take this L that you just took.
I'm not
the
arguing
money.
against your point about you talk about the guy that got 37 years.
No, I'm talking about what we were just talking about. I'm just using it as an analogy. I'm using it as an analogy to highlight what I'm saying, which is that people are going to argue that in that situation with the white kid, that it was the money and not him being white. What I'm saying is, in America, in 2020s, in the year 2000s, we have seen a white kid get off and a black father go for something his kid did. Are you surprised that wasn't reversed? No. If it was reversed, though, if it was the black kid who had got 10 years probation for taking 4 lives and the white kid whose father was going to jail for 37 years, we would be surprised. Everybody would be like, oh, right? Why is that? Because the privilege has existed for so long. That's the point. What I'm saying, nobody, even the shock of it, nobody would be in awe if the privilege didn't exist.
I follow that part, right? Is there okay? The reason I'm trying to get to the core of this is, can we get rid of privilege? Is there a way to eliminate? So there's no way. So got it, right? So there's no way to eliminate privilege, right?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, once Jeff be the emperor and he start killing people for doing
there's that.
Let's not tell you.
I wasn't going there, but okay. Yes, there's a great way to get rid of privilege, but it scares the shit out of black people. It's called love. We're gonna have to love our way out of this. You can't vote your way out. You can't relocate your way out. You can't educate your way out. You're gonna have to love your way out.
What about knowledge and education? Because the more knowledge and education you have, the more privilege that you actually have amongst the masses. Like when Beans brought up that example regarding what happened in Texas, what happened in Florida, somebody had the knowledge to know the loopholes between the laws for somebody to get 10 years. And somebody got blindsided that their son did something stupid.
No,
absolutely not.
You use 2 different jurisdictions, right? If you use for it to be apples to apples, you need to use the same state. Right?
I was just bringing that up because
not you, but I'm saying in different states. Like, let me give you an example. If you out in the Bay Area, right, you do a crime in Frisco or Oakland, you might get out. You start going to Costa County, and they're like, yeah, you should have not played. You do the same thing out there. Woo, they coming down with the hammer on you. We understand that it's implemented different in different areas, right? Okay. I know dang well they don't do it down there, and we understand they're more lenient in areas, but it's within the discretion of the law. Now, I think what we want to argue is we need to remove discretion and say this is the flat out penalty under all circumstances, and I don't.
No,
nobody's.
I don't know if anybody. I don't remember saying anything.
What we're arguing for is the same discretion.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, but no. See, this is what I'm saying. It can't be the same discretion, because then it's not discretion, right? Like I'm using my judicial powers to discretionary decide something for somebody, and then the next judge does it differently, so it won't be the same. And
you said discretion. Whoa. When have I have never heard discretion is one word, equality is another. I don't know what you're.
But he's saying that it sounds like you're asking to get rid of it. I'm saying no. I'm saying you could look at a situation, right? Aaron, in my situation, child support. When I went the very first time I went to court, the case that was called right in front of me, we literally had our cases started at the same time. We literally both was in the courtroom with our baby mamas. Both our baby mamas were saying we don't want the child support. The judge rescinded his, and she wouldn't rescind mine. Wow. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying, no, I'm not saying get rid of the discretion, but I'm saying what you're not going to do is sit in this situation where shit is basically exactly the same and treat one person different than you treated the other one. That's
but hold on 1 second. Hold on. Yes, hello. Yes, so hold on, wait, just 1 second, Denise. If basically you said it should be one rule for all, so hold on, wait, just hear me out. I heard y'all talk. So they should get rid of everybody. Everybody child support if the baby mama not asking. It should be one rule. It shouldn't be where a person can be biased.
I understand that, but it's a human component that we can't get away from. So what I'm saying is this, and I don't know why Aaron is acting like he don't get this. Maybe he has been away from it. Aaron, let me say it one more time. It was her discretion. And what I'm saying is you don't get to do this right here. And then in the very next case, when the elements are the exact same, make a different decision. No.
Did you
Did you and
your lawyers?
But she did do it, right?
Did you and your lawyers ever find out why that was the case?
We're talking about what should be. We're talking
I
about
know. I get the should be.
Got
did
it.
You and your lawyers ever find out why?
Yeah, I know why she did it.
Because he's black.
That's not what he asked.
Why?
Correct. We don't have to speculate, but okay.
No, I know why she treated me differently. I know.
That's not what he asked.
Okay.
Wait. That's
literally what he's asking me.
No, it isn't.
What are you asking?
He asked, did you, this question only, did you and or your lawyers find out definitively why it is that there was a difference between your case and this one?
Right. So that would include me, right?
Yes.
Yes. I found out why she did it. Yes.
How did you find out?
Because I'm intelligent.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind. Here's what I thought you were. Here's what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say that I found the $50,000 or so that it takes to take a judge under judicial review, which is what.
No,
it takes about $50,000 to run a judge through judicial review and come out on the other end with a response. Okay,
right.
And it could be where you are
how we come
here
up
in
with
California.
Answers.
Okay, here's the issue. Here's what I think Christopher was getting at. We both know, bruh. I'm telling you, I agree with you. I've seen it too. I've gone through it in court as well. But in order to prove what you're saying, they put the ball way down the field and make you go get it. If you want to prove that the judge did you wrong, you need to take the judge to judicial review. And that makes judges shake in their boots because you can be moved around, you can be downgraded, you can be looked at to not be to be taken off of the list for promotion as a judge.
Absolutely. All of that's understandable. I'm just trying to make sure y'all understand what I'm saying is we're not dealing with a dummy, right? So it took a minute, but I figured out why she treated my case different. Why
was that?
Neither one of us had never been in front of her before. She didn't know either one of us. It was our very first times in court. Our cases started at the same time, September 2016. We had neither one of us had made any payments, and we both had our baby mamas in there saying, no,
absolutely
no more, right? So, but the reason why she treated me the way she treated me was because of my background. And I know that, right? It was a female judge, and she was able to see in my background that I had domestic violences. And I know that's why she did that, because she didn't know me from Adam. And she had a whole attitude with me as soon as I approached the bench. I had never been in front of this bitch ever in my life. So,
you misrepresented that it was a privilege of him because it wasn't the same.
I didn't say that. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to start listening.
Did he have a domestic violence history?
Well, we were talking about.
No,
he don't know.
I don't even know if he did. But she was super nice to him. She was smiling and woo and all this and that and blah blah blah. Right. And then as soon as I came up, it was attitude. Everything they said. Jeff. After this, my baby mama filed paperwork. The state was on my side. I had an attorney who I was paying for. Everybody was trying to get me from up under that, and the judge kept saying no, reduction, no. Throw it away. No. Give them a break from it. No. No.
Yeah, that's the power that they have.
At the time, I was making $8.75 an hour working at Enterprise, moving cars around. Reduction. The state was judged. We have his income. This is how much he makes. We're fine with the reduction. We'll take it down to $80 because he's not really making any money. The judge, no. So, you see what I'm saying? So I'm not stupid, right? I know why she did that. I
am not arguing that.
I know you're not arguing it. But what I'm saying is I'm making the point to say, what I'm saying is because prior to my case, within her discretion, when the elements of the case, fuck the background of the nigga you dealing with, because this wasn't criminal, this was child support court. When the element of the case was the exact same, she said, okay, here's what you do to get rid of the child support. So when my case rolls up, guess what she should have been forced to say? The same exact thing. So that's what I'm saying, Aaron. Not one rule for everybody, but with the judge, because you have discretion, then you're going to apply that discretion the same across cases where they're the same.
That's not how discretion.
That's not how discretion works.
It is.
But I get
no, it isn't.
I'm not saying that's how discretion is. I'm
I
making
get
an
it.
argument for how judges should be forced to move.
Now, when you
No,
say
they
forced,
No,
Yeah.
they shouldn't.
Hell yeah.
No, they shouldn't. The judges should have absolutely discretion. What should not color their discretion is racial or social bias. That's the point. You don't want to get rid of discretion because everything isn't a cookie cutter situation.
Exactly.
This is the reason for judicial review, which brings us back to Doe. If you really in California, if you had that problem, I have a friend who's going through this right now. You better have a spare 50 grand to run a judge's ass up the flagpole.
This is why and respectfully, I don't even mean this disrespectfully. This is why this is a stupid ass argument to me. Because what I'm saying, you don't need 50 grand. What I'm saying is, bitch, you did this right here, do it again.
You're missing. The only reason why I brought that up is because there might be some context that you're missing where you believe it's a safe scenario, but it's actually two different outcomes. There might be some eating pieces that you're missing.
Thank you.
And what would that be? Give me an example.
You say you have a criminal record.
How does that reflect?
No. Hold on. Because you brought this up.
Absolutely, but you just said there could be something that I might not see. I know I have a criminal record, right?
Right. Did the
already
person
you're not answering the question.
So did the person in front of you
that I can't see?
The person in front of you, what was their record like?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Then you can't call your cases identical.
Wait, this doesn't make any sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Okay, does anybody know the equation that they have for child support?
Yes.
Is your background in that equation at all?
No.
So then that's irrelevant, Christopher.
I am only bringing up that example because you brought that up. Otherwise,
absolutely. That's my point. That's what makes it fucking bad.
So that's all I'm highlighting.
Use my criminal background in the equation of child support.
So, Beans, what I'm saying is this: on the surface level, it may look identical. You have to dig a little deeper to find the differences, and you're going to realize.
So give me an example that I'm not aware of. I'm aware of my criminal background. I'm sitting here saying that's the reason why she treated me differently.
Yeah, that's a little. I tend to agree with your assessment. However,
because it's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, we can't say it's the only thing that makes sense because.
Then give me an example.
Well, no, what I'm saying is she would have to confirm. That's why I did it. Yeah, I did it because of your background. For now, we're under the assumption like that makes the most logical sense. And I'm with the logical sense, right? But when we say something is in fact, we're we gotta be like we not certain that is, but that is the most likely reason for it. Assigned. No, I'm saying I agree with your.
I know, but I'm just saying. Imagine this. The court is out. I'm standing outside. My baby mama standing outside.
You got a do-rag on?
Paid attorney is standing outside.
But did you go on that thing with a do-rag on?
Attorney. All of us are standing outside saying, I don't know why this bitch is acting like this. The state was agreeing to everything I asked for. And
the paid attorney gets paid regardless. So yeah, I'm an active fool too. I don't know what's going on there. That check clear? Yeah, this is outrageous. Like the check.
Thank you. And now we agree, Aaron.
But now here's what I'm saying. If it is shown, here's a case that was the exact same as this case. The people involved don't even matter. The case, you know it's the case.
But that's the problem.
And this is where
you treated them differently. That's
and this is where your
problematic.
lawyer team screwed up.
And they would have lost that case. They would have lost that case if because even with domestic violence, they could say that she felt that she was coerced to agree
She was
to
under duress.
Under duress, yeah. So it still come down to her discretion that she could say that these two cases was different.
Yeah, discretion and bias for sure. Like, I totally understand like how that could play out. And yes, that may hit with her a little bit deeper because she might have been a certain type of lawyer prior to her being appointed as a judge, and she might have dealt with those cases. So we all understand that that's a high probability, and and she might be, and they are not known to be the most lenient people either. Sometimes they bring the hammer down because they want you to they want conformity, like respect this courtroom. Like they're very big on that. It's like, you can't get people to respect the flag of America. Like, man, that's my decision. I decide if I like it or not. Come in that courtroom, it will be none of that up in here. Like, you see what I'm saying? They want straight conformity. So I could totally understand. Like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I saw that.
Again, my point wasn't about trying to make my argument about why she did it. My point was about showing
her ability to do it.
Discretion, right? Because this is how, to me, you're not removing the element of privilege. You're not going to do that. Jeff thinks we can. I don't think we can. But what I'm saying, how you can hold people accountable, though, right?
No, I agree with Jeff on that. With love, if love in the sense of what he means, that actually would solve it. The problem is
how y'all just be saying shit without giving us the how.
Well, okay, well, that's all you have to do is say we'll go a little bit deeper into how love would impact that, right?
I don't want to go deeper. You're Aaron O.
Sir, I've only 2 episodes back, sir.
Catch up with yourself because this shit is not.
It's very selfish of you, sir. Very inconsiderate. I don't feel the love right now. The point being is saying, look, when you're doing things out of love, it will bring compassion. So when everybody that walks into the courtroom, the judge has love for them, how she assesses her punishment will be based in love, in the context of which Uncle Jeff is speaking about love. Now, we don't realistically think we can get to a state where we're doing things in love like that. Like most of us, like she gonna be mad as hell that I did those things in the past. I ain't getting no love, right? There's a level. That's why we typically don't use love. We use grace, right? Because you ain't got to love nobody to try to attribute grace, right? And so that to me is probably the most likely case that we can get a level of grace if people had that. But one could argue it takes a level of love to want to assert grace on the people. So I understand what Uncle Jeff is saying when he's saying love could be the biggest factor at moving the needle. I just don't. I just think that human beings naturally, we want more. I want more space. You got the same as me. We are never satisfied with equality. We're never satisfied with equality.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's asking for equality.
It actually is equal, though, right? You gotta have. To me, I could be wrong, but from what I've learned is that you can't have this existence on this plane of existence can't exist without good and evil. You gotta have both.
Yeah. Right? Identify. So I think
I don't think you can escape it.
No, I think people are asking for equality, and I'm gonna tell you why I think people are asking for equality. Y'all own all the businesses. All right, what percentage of businesses do y'all want to own? What's the answer?
50%.
Not a lot.
No.
Come on now.
I'd love to answer. I'd love to answer those questions. I'd love a stab at it. Let
me rephrase it, and then I'll let you answer from there. Let me rephrase it. All right. So the audience say, all right, welcome to the United States of America. We are here together to make sure that we are treating people as fair, equitable, and all those good things as we possibly can. We understand Black people have gone through a lot in this country, and we want to make sure that they're understood and heard, and we're going to do things and implement things to make things better for Black people specifically. We know us as whites, we own pretty much everything here. So in order for it to make it a little bit more fair, Blacks, what would you recommend us do to make things more likable for you as an outcome? What would you recommend us to do? What percentage of the businesses would you like to own?
Whose turn is it?
It's your turn. I just want to know what percentage.
Here's what I want you to do.
You get old privilege over here.
Absolutely. Here's what I want you to do, white people. Not a goddamn thing. What I want is for my people to ask themselves the following questions. Number one, if the NFL was 85% Armenian, do you think the Chinese would own it? And I want you to be honest about that question. And then I want you to love yourself. I want you to love yourself enough to say that I'm not going to play for or against a team that I don't own. Number two, as black people, I don't want you to give us shit. I want us to start registering and trading.
Hey, that internet is crazy.
I told you, it's so perfect.
Hold on, wait, he's coming back.
He came back. Give him 15 seconds. He always has 15 seconds.
I told you.
No, go back to number two. Go back to number two.
I'm back. Number two. I want you to start owning all your own slang. I want you to stop throwing out your old artists. You can find a bunch of people who talk shit about black people who talk shit about R&B artists and hip-hop artists. You cannot name me a white young band that will talk shit about the Rolling Stones. I don't want shit.
Okay. I'm following you. I'm following your train of thought. So I was trying to make sure that I was understanding. I don't want nothing from y'all. I
want you to stop fucking with my people.
Okay.
I want you to leave us the fuck alone.
I also want to understand this. After you tell your people this, right? Do you want the white people to be like, we accept y'all loving each other and then investing in each other to take y'all stuff out of them circumstances? Do you want them to nod their head and be like, yeah, that's cool?
No.
So
I want them. Here's what I want. If I would be allowed to say,
go ahead. I
want them to fight tooth and nail. I want them to shed our blood. Okay. I want them to do exactly what I believe them to do, but I want my black people to stand up in the face of it. That's what I want. I want the same energy. I want the same energy for my people that they took to demand to ride the front of buses when they had their own fucking bus lines. That's what I want. I want that energy pointed at their shit. That's what I want.
And what if they tell you, like, okay, Jeff, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we doing the same thing. Yeah, we doing the same thing. We controlling our equity positions in the businesses that we own. We making sure our people own the things that we dominate, and we dominating this. We gonna make sure we own it. Y'all should try it. And you gonna go, yeah, we want to do the same things y'all doing.
Okay.
He got no problem with white privilege.
Yes. Let me.
I don't know what you. I don't understand where you're confused.
Hold on. Let me answer it real quick. Let me answer it real quick. So to answer your question directly, my answer would be as many as they qualify for, with the same discretion used for other people and other races. Because to be honest with you, most people don't want the responsibility. So it's not like we want the 88% of the businesses are owned by white people. Let us have 88%. Let us have 43%. It's not that. No. It's just that people just want to be able to go after their dreams. So however many they qualify for, with the same discretion that you give to somebody else. If I come in here as Billy Joe Bob Thornton and I got a 520 credit score and I got $5,000 and I'm trying to do something and you, hey, go, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to do it. Then when Tyrone Jenkins come in here, give him the same opportunity. That's it. Give him the same
white
shit.
People with 500.
Allow him the opportunity to fail like everybody else. Because here's what I'm going to be honest about that I don't think a lot of people would be honest about. I don't want black people running shit. I really don't. Black people, listen, I'm going to keep it all the way a buck with you. Black people don't appreciate shit. And because they don't appreciate shit, unless it's like some super high class shit, like if you take a black person to, I don't know, what's one of the nice ass hotels they be having, Jeff?
The Ritz-Carlton.
Okay, you take a black person to the Ritz-Carlton, hey, they taking their shoes off. They walking lightly. They not really trying to make no noise, right? When they leave the room, they trying to leave the room as much as it looked before they came than when they leave. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to leave it all messed up because they don't want nobody to say them black people was in here, right? But if you take them to the Motel 6, they pee on the floor. They sitting on the couch with their ass out. They treat it like it ain't shit. Same thing with the jobs. You look at all these black women who work at these quote unquote government jobs, right? These DMV positions, housing positions, all these different places like that. You get the same attitude and bullshit service there that you get from black people when they at a McDonald's. They don't respect the McDonald's. They don't respect the job. They don't respect flipping burgers. They don't respect fries. So your food is late. They ain't never got your shit in the bag like it's supposed to be. It's too much of that shit going on, in my opinion, to just take these people and somehow thrust them into all these positions, you know what I'm saying, that keep the infrastructure running. I don't want that. I want the motherfuckers that's qualified to just be given an opportunity.
So let
no,
me ask
no
this.
DUI.
Hold on, don't mess this up for me, E. So I just want to clarify, but if it's possible that you can see that, do you think it's possible another group can go, I see the same thing Bean see. We ain't giving them nothing.
I don't know what that means.
Yes, but yes, but listen to what you're saying. There's a difference between them and Jeff, right? If them show up trying to get something done, I might be like, nah, fuck y'all. But if Jeff show up, Jeff got business plan, Jeff got credit, Jeff got this other shit, I'm not impeding Jeff. If Jeff put his damn house on the market, I shouldn't have to tell him to take his pictures down.
How about
Your house
that?
is worth $700
How about
grand.
that?
Wait.
The house is worth $700 grand, period,
wait.
fucking blank.
Oh, I get it. You're talking about an appraisal, right? I totally understand that aspect about it, all right? The appraisal, different prices.
I just want to put this out there. Anytime
That's a lot to sweep under the rug.
I know, listen, but anytime I smell curry when I'm appraising the house, I 50,000 less. I'm sorry.
Come on.
No, look, I'm not sweeping it under the rug. What I'm saying is, I get the bias part there, right? Maybe they believe that it will cost. I don't know how in depth that is. Oh, they're trying to make sure you don't get as much money on the sale or whatever.
Let me explain. I can explain how in depth it is if you'd like.
That's very common, though.
I would love to explain that.
Okay,
from a commoner's perspective, from someone who is not born into money as an American, the cornerstone of wealth is homeownership. The very cornerstone of it is the ability to put my kids through college with it, the ability to soak my house and start a business with it, the ability to soak my house and buy another house with it. It's the very life's blood of the common man in America.
No.
You are okay. So what you telling me then?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't see that no more. But I know it was the truth.
It's legacy wise, yes.
I'll make clips. I'll just make clips. Never mind.
How long? Because I kind of wanted to let y'all talk, but I'm trying to understand. So, Aaron, when you saw, hold on 1 second, guys, because I wanted to see what this conversation.
I thought it was my turn. I'm sorry.
No, I've been letting y'all have all the turns. I literally been quiet for an hour trying to.
All right, y'all
good.
let me know. I'll go after the last one. Let me know.
All right, go after me. So, Aaron, here in Washington, I know this happened in California too. When we saw that white weed growers' license was getting approved and black weed growers' license was getting denied, are you telling me that was not a form of white privilege?
I know that we would like to attribute it to that.
That's a yes or no.
But I'm going to say that's based on connection. I think that's based on connection. If you told me it was just random people, like if you said, "Hey, look, I want you to front my business," right? You're a white guy, but I'm gonna own a business to a holding company. This, and that. All right, you the face. Go there and get this approved. I don't think they was gonna give it to him. I think they have people that they have a backdoor.
But what if the state? Hold on.
I don't think it's a random person. I think these deals. Go ahead.
Hello, but what if the state said we? Hold on, I got you. And you know I don't like supporting the weed smoker, but I saw this and I said this is pretty messed up. I'll talk about that later. When the state say we carved a percentage of all weed growers must be black, and they still deny applications and approve the white ones, you still don't see that there's no white privilege there.
No, or the question is it's getting denied by the state.
It's getting denied by the people in charge.
I'm trying to understand.
Denied by the people who make the decision.
Okay, I'd like to give you the circumstances if you would like. I ain't gonna put his name out. I'll give you the circumstances.
I have to ask for the clarification because
I would like to clear it up.
But I want to make sure I understand what he was saying. He said the state carved out a particular amount specifically for minorities, and then the state declined it. That's what he said.
Okay, Aaron, would you like this explained or not?
That is what was just said.
Would you like this explained properly or not from someone who went through it? Yes or no?
Absolutely. I was just making sure I understood what he said. And yes, Beans, he did in fact say that.
Let's pretend. Aaron. Okay, Aaron, you need to hear it. He was wrong. Would you like it right or not?
Oh, no, I'm not saying he's wrong or right.
I'm saying he's wrong. Is it all right if we get to it?
Yep, go ahead. You said he's wrong.
Okay. In the state of California, there was a bill passed that said if, as a black man, you were charged with a felony for marijuana, you would be given a head start in the line for licenses. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
I remember that.
What they did not tell you is that the front of this line as a convicted felon, the things that you would have to have. And all of the things on this list were damn near impossible to get as a convicted felon. And while you was trying to get this shit together, white boys was walking right past you getting this limited number of licenses. I went through it. Snoop's grower went through it, who is a friend of mine. Another friend of mine who just got out 2 years ago went through the same shit. And do you know how they got through it? Garbage bags full of $100 bills given to people who were not in the building.
That's the point that Eda Man made, is that even though they carved it out, there were people who were put in the positions to make the decisions.
Thank you.
Those people are still biased. They still capitalists. They still listen, Aaron. The one thing that is escaping me is that you said that you believe if black people were in the position of white people, that they would be okay with, all of the stuff that they accuse white people of, basically. But
I don't see what point he's making with that. But okay, right.
I mean, listen, I would agree with him that a majority of them would, right? But that's based on today, right?
I don't know what point that is when he makes it.
To Jeff's point, I don't think innately that's where we were, right? But today, with all the conditioning and shit, yeah. But Aaron, here's the thing, though, right? That would include the privilege, right? And the thing about it is that those people, to your point, you made this point, would want to do what they had to do to stay in the position of being in charge. So why don't you think this is what white people do? Why don't you think the privilege that they actually have is they're in the positions to maintain their superiority over everybody else?
Because he thinks it looks like us swinging from trees and that's it.
Look, Aaron, we changed the law on the weed, and all of a sudden, all of the licenses, pretty much the majority of the licenses, end up with white people. So is that you're gonna say, oh well, it's more of them? The fuck does that mean? It's more of them, and it's still a whole bunch of. They argue that we commit all these damn murders, right? They argue that all the time per capita, that dumb shit, right? if they really wanted to do it, what they would have said was this. If it wasn't about maintaining their status quo, that's what I was trying to say, Aaron, not privilege, the status quo. If it really wasn't about that, this is what they would have did. They would have said to everybody that we hindered with the previous law, you get first dibs. Period. You gotta go get all this other shit and all this other dumb shit.
No, Beans,
you get first dibs.
Hold on.
And then we'll get everybody else together.
Parenthetically, Beans, you're exactly right. And that's what they said. Okay, Beans, because you got screwed over in A, B, or C, you go first. Do you own any red beans? You own red clothes? Right. Well, here's the issue. That's a problem. You can't show up here in red. So you show up here in green. Oh, damn. Green is next week, Beans. So between now and next week, all the white boys show up in whatever they want.
Type shit. That's what I'm saying.
Type shit. And to pretend, no, it's not that Aaron don't see it. It's not that Aaron don't see it. It's that Aaron will go to the end of the fucking universe to make his point, regardless to somebody standing here telling you with real estate and weed, it has happened to them specifically.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I don't want to put other people's business out here.
Aaron.
It's famous people you know. It's famous people you heard of that I could throw their business out here and I'm not lying. And there are court cases you could go to look it up. This shit happens. Whenever you bring up the concept of white privilege, barbarism, cheating, and treachery, and try to put American white people anywhere but first, you're going to have these problems in conversation.
This is what I want to ask you, Aaron. Because we might be able to find some common ground right here. What if I replace privilege with status quo? Would you be more acceptable of that? If because I'm actually
I've got a lot of examples of the privilege existing and things like that. That was the whole point of the conversation. I just needed more concrete information. But if you notice, when people make these assertions, they are not applicable. When you start seeing these people go, "Oh my God, you just got all this privilege," they're just emotional when they state these things. Uncle Jeff, what you're doing is presenting factual things that occurred. You're not necessarily being emotional, although the legacy of slavery is still.
Now you being disrespectful. You just said them two niggas' name. Listen, now he's being disrespectful. Listen,
hey, they kicked you out of the group. I'm the only one that say you're allowed to stay.
Wow.
So no, it's just, I think because my mind is always like tied to, is it because they're winning and then we're losing? Is it because they want to acknowledge that they're cheating? Do you need them to acknowledge that they're cheating when you know that they're cheating? Or are you so upset with the position of your people because they won't force your people to fight back? Because honestly, it ultimately seems like it comes down to your people's lack of will to get together, to work together, and they don't force you to do. Because the argument is, man, when segregation was happening, we was better off then because the integration ruined us because now we don't work together. And what I'm saying is, well, you don't have to work together right now. You are free to decide whether you want to work together or not. And unless they force you to not work with them, you won't make the own self-conscious decision to do it. While you'll make the claim, the Japanese will work. They don't need to be told that forced to not work with them. The Chinese don't need to be forced to not work with them. And when you make these conversations about getting access to state licenses, all the other groups have created their own economic base amongst each other, and they not going through their companies and systems to exist while we're still having a reliance on it.
Oh my!
Well, there's an absolute. I would love to. Okay, whose turn is it?
Now I gotta report your channel.
Whose turn is it?
That's what I heard.
Whose turn is it to clear up what you heard?
Hey, Beans. Hey, at the end of the day,
Aaron, please tell her what we was. We was gangs. We was all gangs. All of us. She was gangs.
At the end of the day, we all kings. All right, and this is just a conversation. I craft conversations. It may not necessarily be my point of view, but I want to create the conversation and you can expound on the conversation. Okay. I appreciate you guys showing up. We hit the 3 hour mark. Okay. I'm old and retired. I can't go 16 hours like I used to when I was back in young and in shape. Now, for all of you that tune in and appreciate the show, make sure you leave a like or a dislike on your way out the door. And until next time, we gone.